serving the tri-state area with refreshing Coca-Cola products since 1889. By Eaton Park, where there's always something special cooking. By Equibank, the straight talk bank. By the new Giant Eagle. If you're not paying the absolute minimum price, you're paying too much. By McDonald's, it's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's. By MCI, until you call, you'll never know how much better a long-distance company can be. By Stroh's and Stroh Light. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here. And by Mac, the 24-hour banking machine network. Share the experience with people who carry convenience.
And by Calusi Chevrolet, the world's oldest Chevrolet dealer, Bridgeville. By the new Donnelly directory, a better Yellow Pages, and much, much more. By Isuzu, the preferred cars and trucks of Penguins, and people, too. By Long John Silver's Seafood Shops. Long John Silver sounds good to me. By your Pittsburgh area Nissan dealers. We put quality in your price range. And by Campbell's. Soup is good food.
Box and set the defense.
The Penguins currently in the heat of the battle right now in the Patrick Division for a playoff spot. They are currently tied with the New Jersey Devils, 1 point behind the New York Rangers. The Rangers check in with 66 points, both the Devils and the Penguins with 65. The Devils are playing this afternoon at Philadelphia, and in the second period, the Devils have a 3-2 lead over the Philadelphia Flyers. Very important game for the Penguins here. They'll be going against a Minnesota team that really is in disarray. They've got the worst record of the National Hockey League, but despite that, Paul, they're just 5 points out of a playoff spot in their division, and they've still got 2 games in hand on Toronto.
Well, that's the nature of things in the National Hockey League with the playoffs set up as it is. The North Stars have lost 7 in a row, but Herb Brooks was saying during a long stretch when they were losing hockey games that it was all right because their team was working very hard. They had a lot of injuries, and he really understood why they might have their problems. But on the other hand, they lost 6-2 to Buffalo the other night, and he really went crazy on him. He yelled at him about going in the tank. He didn't like it one bit. He's an ornery guy right now. I talked to him before the game, and he didn't really want to talk. I mean, he's really upset. He's also upset, I think, Mike, by the fact that it doesn't look like he's going to get the job to be general manager of the Minnesota North Stars. Lou Nanne has decided to resign at the end of the season, but he's been promoted to president, and it looks like Herb Brooks could be out of a job.
Well, the Penguins coming off a loss at the hands of the St. Louis Blues, and there was a lot of talk the Penguins going to make some major changes for this game this afternoon. They didn't feel that they had a full effort from everybody. That really doesn't appear to be the case.
No, I thought, in fact, Pierre Kramer said after the game in St. Louis there will be changes. There were some guys who weren't in this lineup tonight who will be in the lineup in the Minnesota game. Well, Jimmy Johnson's the only guy who's been added to the lineup, and he's been out because he was sick. So he really didn't make the changes we expected him to make. He's going to go with the same lineup and hope that the players understand they didn't play the kind of game they're capable of playing against St. Louis and come out and do that today against Minnesota.
All right, the Penguins meet the North Stars there, the final meeting of the year between the two clubs. Sit back, relax, and enjoy with us this afternoon on the Penguins Hockey Network.
We interrupt this commercial to bring you a special McDonald's broadcast. Right now at McDonald's, for just 99 cents, you can get any breakfast sandwich. I repeat, any of 4 great-tasting breakfast sandwiches for 99 cents. Wait, the latest just in. Now you can also get a Filet-O-Fish sandwich for just 99 cents. Hurry to McDonald's and get any Filet-O-Fish or breakfast sandwich for just 99 cents. This concludes McDonald's special broadcast.
Okay, Alex will now do his famous dog impersonations. Grab a Stroh Light, relax. Ready, Alex? All right, who's this?
Rin Tin Tin.
Look at this.
Look at this. Tramp, my 3 sons.
Right. Yeah. This is my favorite.
Benji. Oh, I don't know how he does it.
It's amazing.
Stroh Light, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
No, here he comes. Who's that supposed to be?
Beats me.
Hi.
How did you get up here?
In the amazing Isuzu Trooper 2. Of course, near the top, I did have to shift into 4-wheel drive. Want to buy it?
No, we're supposed to walk.
Can it take all of us?
No sweat.
Are you sure about this?
Take the whole family to Timbuktu in the Trooper 2. Well, maybe not that far.
You have my word on it.
We want to see your eyes when you see our shrimp.
At Long John Silver's, we want to see you sink your teeth into our big, juicy butterfly shrimp. And right now, you can get these golden beauties in 4 great meals for only $3.99 each. Like our 6-piece shrimp dinner and our shrimp and fish dinner.
You see, we want to make sure we're going to see you back.
meals, $3.99 each.
We want to see you happy.
Well, the Penguins currently trailing the Rangers, as we said, by 1 point. The referee this afternoon will be Ron Hogart. The two linesmen, Ryan Bozek and Swede Knox. Frank Pietrangelo out of the University of Minnesota will get the starting nod this afternoon for the Penguins, replacing Steve Gannett, who, of course, played against the Blues the other night in St. Louis.
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise, really. We weren't sure that Pierre Kramer was going to make a goaltending change. We thought maybe even Joe Meloche might get a chance to play, but it looks like he won't play the rest of the year. And John Casey, former Baltimore skipjack, in goal today for the Minnesota North Stars.
Pierre Kramer looks on as the Penguins prepare to play the North Stars for the final time this year. Dan Quinn with Randy Cunneyworth and Dan Frawley. Mark Habscheid playing out here with Wally Schreiber. And for the North Stars on the left wing, Brian Bellows. And the North Stars control, dumping into the Penguins' ends. Artie Zalapski sent it ahead back to center, but it's picked off by Kurt Giles, the Minnesota defenseman. Lay it ahead back to center circle. Bodger of Pittsburgh up the right wing looking for Dan Quinn, but it's taken away by Minnesota. And here comes Bellows back into the Penguins' end. Lead pass for Schreiber. Look out. He tried to center it in front of Bodger. Went diving out to break up the pass. Zalapski now move it ahead to center to Dan Quinn. Quinn can't get into the Minnesota end. The Penguins were very much shut down by the Blues on Thursday night. Here's Schreiber going to the Penguins in. Off to Bellows. A wrist shot. And never seen the puck was Pietrangelo, but it went wide. Habscheid of Minnesota. Send it over to the left wing corner. Bodger in, looking for the puck. Cunneyworth over. Penguin winger trying to move it out, and he gets it ahead to Dan Frawley. Relay it now to Dan Quinn. Quinn 2-on-2 to the Minnesota line. Comes down, fakes his shot, looks around for a trailer, and can't find anybody. Dino Cesarelli. Up left wing of the North Stars. Break into the Penguins in. Brian Lawton. Head along the far boards by Billy Sheeran. Lemieux on for the Penguins. Working center ice here with Brian Erickson and Bob Airy. Now here's Lemieux into the North Stars in front to Erickson. He tapped it right on the goal, and Casey made the save. The rebound put in front by Bob Airy, but the Penguins can't pull the trigger. And the North Stars come up with it. Radisek Musil. Musil around the left wing, looking for Brian McClellan, and it comes off his stick back to center, but the North Stars have it 3-on-1 to the Penguins in against Coffey. Right side, Ciccarelli shoots, and the stop is made by Pietrangelo. Now behind the net, McClellan comes down, a backhand shot will hit the side of the Penguin goal. Well, the North Stars had a great opportunity there, 3-on-1, but they couldn't cash in, as Ciccarelli was denied by Frank Pietrangelo, who has his only National Hockey League shutout against this Minnesota team. A 1-0 victory at the Civic Arena. Coffey works his way into the Minnesota zone. Hit on the play. A penalty coming up against Minnesota. The North Stars will be shorthanded. And the Penguins get the first power play chance of the afternoon. Minute 52 gone. In the first period, no score on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Which of these cars is the best investment? The Nissan Maxima has a bigger engine and more horsepower than the Toyota Cressida. The Maxima has front-wheel drive for smooth traction and handling. The Cressida has rear-wheel drive, and we all know what that means on a slick surface. But most amazing is, the Maxima is $3,000 less than the Cressida. The Nissan Maxima is a solid investment. See your Greater Pittsburgh Nissan dealers. They're setting the pace for the human race.
Yeah, okay, that's it. Paul Coffey had gone deep into the Minnesota zone and was trapped offside. He came back outside the blue line. Mario Lemieux waited for him. He took the puck, went across the line, and Brian McClellan pulled him down. Tripping the call at 1:52. Penguins with their first power play chance.
And the Penguins, who are 10 for 40 in the last 40 attempts with the man advantage. On the power play, Coffey trying to hold it into the point. It comes right by his glove and hops all the way back to the Penguin line. Doug Bodger retreating back into Penguin territory. The penalty killers, Bob Brook, out here with Dave Gagne. And the Penguins steer it to center, and here's Lemieux on the near boards at center ice. Right wing pass for Robbie Brown. Jumped up in the air to the Minnesota end. And a hand pass will be called here as Brown knocked it down, and one of the Penguins touched it. And we'll get a face-off outside of the Minnesota blue line. Herb Brooks, coach of the Minnesota North Stars. The North Stars right now with a record of 17, 42, and 9.
Our Giant Eagle goal-getter contestant here in the first period is Richard Hanachak of Pittsburgh, and Mario Lemieux is his goal-getter. $300 worth of groceries in the jackpot.
Dan Quinn now joined by Mario Lemieux and Rob Brown up front with a minute 35 to go on the penalty. The North Stars control the draw, and they flip it up into the Penguins' end. Pietrangelo leaving the puck for Paul Coffey. Right wing pass at the Penguin line for Robbie Brown. Now finds Doug Bodger. Left wing into the North Stars in for Lemieux. He shoots it in behind the net. John Casey steers that puck with a stick around, but Lemieux picks it off. Center point to Coffey. He's going to try and shoot it. It was blocked The North Stars Schreiber dish it off, and the North Stars now flip it right up into their own bench area. And we get a stop and play. There'll be a face-off in Minnesota territory with 1 minute and 8 seconds to go in the penalty. Paul Coffey of the Pens out here now has played 34 games for the Penguins, is currently 4th in the Penguins in scoring with 52 points in 34 games. He's been a big addition. There's no question about that. Charlie Zalapski now comes out to join Paul Coffey. Those numbers are astonishing, really, when you think about it.
He's got 15 points in his last 5 games. Dan Quinn was really hot for a while and then had his problems against the St. Louis Blues. Wants to get back on track today. Saw him looking at the stats before the game, and he was telling Mario Lemieux that he wanted to get that streak going again and get back on the scoreboard.
Lemieux joined by Stevens now on the left wing and Randy Cunnyworth on the right side of the Minnesota end, 10 feet inside the blue line near side. Zalapski and Coffey will play the points. Charlie Zalapski on the left side. The North Stars, though, again win up an important faceoff. Bob Brook beat Lemieux. Frantisek Musil shoots it away, and that kills some valuable time on that penalty to McClellan of the Minnesota North Stars. No score first period. Now Coffey winds it up from his own end. He's got the motor going, dumps it off to Zalapski, number 33. Coffey was hit by Bob Brook, upended. Zalapski skates his way into Minnesota ice, got around defenseman Bob Rouse. He'll come in deep, tried to center it to hit the side of the net. Both Zalapski and Coffey give the Penguins that opportunity to skate that puck in deep, boys. And that's a big asset, but the North Stars have it this time, and they bounce it off the sideboards and away to Penguin ice. As we said, the North Stars still within 5 points of a playoff spot in their division, and 2 games in hand on the club ahead of them, the Toronto Maple Leafs, so they're not out of it. And they put together a couple of wins here, and they're right back in contention for a playoff spot. Lead pass, Zalapski. Great pass on the right wing to Cunnyworth in the Minnesota zone. Flipping towards the net, and Casey knocks it out of midair to the near corner. Lemieux of Pittsburgh gets it. Left point, it comes to Coffey. The puck's on edge. He shoots it anyway, and the stop by Casey off his left pad. Zalapski trying to hold it in with 5 seconds to go in the Minnesota penalty. He does. Zalapski's in deep. Looks. He's got Cunnyworth right wing boards. The penalty is over. McCullen is on. Cunnyworth trying to pass across the ice to Lemieux. Knocked aside by the North Stars back to center. And they have killed the penalty. And now Coffey takes a whack at one of the North Stars. It's Dave Gagne, and he'll get a penalty. And Gagne comes after him. And here's Richard Zemlak in for the North Stars. Now Coffey getting battered around pretty good here in the opening moments of this game. And he elected to take a whack at Dave Gagne. And now Zalapski of the Penguins and Brian McClellan have some words. The sticks come up here. Whose stick is that? Is that Kevin Stevens or is that Brian McClellan? Lemieux is over talking to McClellan now. Yeah, the temper's up here in the first period. No score. The Penguins apparently will get a penalty. They'll make them shorthanded. Lemieux barking at McClellan. We'll be back in a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Hey, Walter, what's up?
With great taste and just 1 calorie, Diet Coke is the one soft drink everyone's falling for.
Hi.
Hi. 1 calorie just for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
Well, Paul Coffey had gone down in front of the North Stars bench on his knees to try to work that puck back towards the North Stars zone because he knew he was down, and he tried to clear the puck back to safety. And when he got back up, he took a couple of shots from Gagne, gave it back to him. Actually, I think he took the first shot, and then Gagne back at him, and they really started to push and shove, and Gagne is going to go to the penalty box along with Coffey. We'll see if any team is going to end up shorthanded on it.
Please have been assessed on the Penguins number 77, Paul Coffey, and the North Stars number 15, Dave Gagne. Minor penalties each for high sticking. Time of the penalties, 4:02.
High sticking minors to both men. It will not affect the play on the ice, and the Penguins now will bring out Robbie Brown to center a line with Perry Ganchar and Dave Hunter. By the way, Steve Gottis is a late scratch for the Penguins. He is sick, and he wasn't feeling too well. So he is a late scratch for the Penguins. Jimmy Johnson and Rod Buskus back defensively now for the Pens. Outside the Minnesota line where the penalties took place. Lawton on here with Dino Ciccarelli and Brian McClellan. The puck pushed up into the Minnesota zone. Still scoreless first period. Brian McClellan turning over to Brian Lawton. He has some room. Right wing pass to Ciccarelli. Dino Ciccarelli. He's better than a check by Jimmy Johnson and whacks him back. Now play continues back in front of the Penguin net. And here is Johnson knocking down Dino Ciccarelli. Will there be a penalty called or not? Jimmy Johnson now. Jimmy Johnson and a couple of the North Stars get involved. Dino Ciccarelli and Jimmy Johnson have some heavy words. Ron Hogarth, I believe, will send off Jimmy Johnson. JJ. He and Cicerelli collided, and Cicerelli lost his thing and then belted Jimmy Johnson right there.
Cicerelli, the king of the dive, too. Unbelievable. Oh, my. He put on an act you can't believe to pull that, to draw that penalty. Jimmy Johnson had the stick caught in him. He looked like he got shot with an elephant gun.
Well, the North Stars, again, apparently will get a power play opportunity, and that's for holding. Here's the announcement.
Time of the penalty, 4:22. Johnson holding at 4:22.
Well, Lemieux now talking with referee Ron Hogarth. And what Hogarth is trying to do is just settle things down here. Not going to get it too physical and out of hand. Brian Bellows also chatting. Kurt Giles, the acting captain right now for the North Stars. But it was Bellows over to talk with Ron Hogarth. And Lemieux just said something to Pierre Kramer. I'm sure he just told him that, you know, you guys keep it up. It's going to be a long day for you. I'm sure that's what Hogarth said. Again, the score we have from Philadelphia. The Flyers are losing to New Jersey 3-2 in the second period. We'll update you just as soon as possible on that game. Cicerelli on here. The North Stars 11th in the NHL on the power play. The Penguin penalty killing is 19th. The North Stars 20th. You'd expect a lot of power play goals scored here. Penguins have given up 104 power play goals. The North Stars second in the league. They've allowed 94. Near corner, Penguins in after the face-off. Bodger trying to get out. He's knocked to the ice, but Dave Hunter will sail it up into Minnesota real estate. 15:20 left in the first period. Still no score. Momantha, the former Penguin, back to corral the puck. Scoots to the left to John Casey, the Minnesota goaltender. An outlet pass back to Bellows, and he had to roll off his stick. McClellan, though, takes control of it. Crawley bounced it away from him, but McClellan has it back. Ryan McClellan, a left wing pass into the Penguins in. Too far for Dino Cicerelli. Busquets cuts behind his own goal, and Cicerelli belts him, and now Busquets hammers him back. Back comes Dave Hunter. Now Cicerelli and Busquets have some words. Brian Lawton cruising back into Minnesota ice. He'll have to pick up the mail. Delivers it to Momantha. Still scoreless here in the first. With 1:07 to go in the Jim Johnson penalty. Momantha skates to center, and he'll blast it in around the boards to the left wing side. Busquets had it for a moment, goes to Dave Hunter. Hunter trying to get it out of the end, can't do it. The North Stars pick it up, and Bellows slams one to the net. Pietrangelo stopped that. It rolls right back in, and Frank Pietrangelo holds the puck for the Penguins. We'll get a face-off to the right of the Penguin goal.
Well, Frank Pietrangelo played at the University of Minnesota for 4 years. He's in familiar surroundings today, and he just stood his ground and made the save of going down low. And the rebound really came popping up in the air, and there was a battle for it. Unfortunately, it rolled right back to Pietrangelo, and he was able to make the save. Cicerelli gets that stick up on people, and he pushed it up into the face of Busquets, who gave him a nice shot right to the back of the head after that. You give it, you got to take it, too. That's what Busquets is saying.
Well, I don't think Dino want to match up against Rod in that situation. Go any further than that. And Lemieux now feeds it around near side of the Penguins end to Billy Searing. Cut out by Bob Brook, but penalties will be coming up here again. Lemieux involved here. Bob Erie of the Penguins and one of the North Stars, Frederick Musil. Both are going to go. Well, apparently the Penguins worked on some penalty killing yesterday. I didn't get an opportunity to see the practice. They want to try and change some things, despite with them allowing 104 power play goals. Obviously, some changes are in order with as many goals as they've given up.
The record for power play goals allowed in a season, I believe, is 110.
We're not far from it.
No.
As I predicted here, about halfway through the season, they'd break the records for the most power play goals. Here's the announcement on the penalty.
Number 12, Bob Erie, and the North Stars number 6, Franta Musil. Minor penalties each for high sticking. Time of the penalties, 5:39.
The record for power play goals allowed in a season is 111, set by Detroit in the 85-86 season. Second is Pittsburgh with 110 back in the 82-83 season.
Well, the Penguins right now trying to kill this one off with 36 seconds to go in the penalty to Jim Johnson. The minor penalties to Musil and Erie not affecting the play. Mantha comes into the Penguins end. Snap one towards a goal. Little miss off the boards, though. Grabbed by Mark Habshot. Habshot of Minnesota. Send it over to Mantha, center point. Left side to Kurt Giles. In the slot to Habshot. Back to Giles. And Giles can't make a play, and Troy Loney has the puck, and he'll whack it up the board. That should just about do it. 12 seconds to go in the penalty to the Penguins. It has made them shorthanded. Jersey and Philadelphia now tied at 3 in the second period. Update you on the U.S. Air scoreboard. At center ice, Kurt Giles weaves his way into the Penguins' end. The penalty is expired. The Penguins at equal strength. Backhand shot will miss the Penguin goal. Comes off the near side. Pittsburgh trying to move it out. Jimmy Johnson, who just came on, relays it to Dave Hunter. Now a pass to Rod Busquets. He's going to break in deep to the Minnesota end. He'll snap it right to the goal off the glove of John Casey, the Minnesota goaltender. To the left of the net, it's handled by Kurt Giles. Relay a pass to center, and here come the North Stars, bursting back into Penguin ice. They lose possession. Doug Bodger had it. He gave it away at center ice. Mitch Messier on for the North Stars. He can't get to it, and Dan Quinn. He is hit on the play along the near boards by Gord Dineen, just acquired from the New York Islanders. Dineen and Bob Rouse teaming up defensively for Minnesota. They're in their own end. A lead pass off a skate picked off by Frawley, who taps it back into the right wing corner. Rouse, though, corrals it around the near side for Dineen. The North Stars having problems getting the puck out of their own end. Mitch Messier hit by Dan Frawley. Frawley seems to play very well in this building. Played around the boards to the right side. Zalapski cut it off. He'll keep it in. Pat Micheletti on for the North Stars here, working the left wing. Pretty good shooter, but he can't clear. Right point in the zone is Zalapski of Pittsburgh. His shot blocked. The Penguins will keep it in at the blue line. Pennyworth will take a slap shot that'll miss. Now taken by Frawley. He'll center. The North Stars having all kinds of problems in their own end. They poke it free finally to center. Micheletti comes after it. Jimmy Johnson cut him off, and a penalty coming up here is Brian Lawton hooking one of the Penguins, Randy Honeyworth, and the North Stars will be shorthanded again. Dan Quinn now pushing and shoving with Gord Dineen. Oh, Patrick Division foes. Hello, how do you do? We'll be back in a moment. No score on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Deciding where to put me treasure weren't easy.
Burying it wasn't no day at the beach, neither.
We needed Equibank.
I'd have sailed straight for the straight talk bank.
You see, Equibank knows how hard you mates work for your treasure.
So it should be kept safe and sound. And dry.
At Equibank, me buckos.
With their help, Blackbeard might have been a stealer instead of a pirate.
Well, the Penguins lead the National Hockey League now with 424 times shorthanded. This is the 424th. Randy Honeyworth hauled down Brian Lawton at center ice, hooking the call at 7:42.
Thought it was going to be Lawton the way the play developed and looking back, but it's not. It is Honeyworth who's a guilty party, and the North Stars go to work in the power play for the second time.
Well, Zarley Zalapski tried to hold that puck into the blue line and went down after he tried to hold it in, and he was caught trapped up ice, and Honeyworth got a little nervous and pulled down Brian Lawton because Lawton had gotten around him too.
Devils retake the lead over the Flyers 4-3 in the second period as they've scored to go ahead. Here are the North Stars in a scoreless game with a puck. And back in the right point, McClellan. He'll spin it over to the left side. Up with the puck will be Brian Bellows. Now in the near wing it comes to Brian Lawton. He'll wrist one that'll be blocked. It'll come back in front, and Lemieux clears it off the boards, but not out. The North Stars keep it in. Brian McClellan into the left wing corner. Throw it behind the net. The North Stars work it back to the left point to Mo Bantha. The Minnesota defenseman playing the point. Left side over to Bellows. He'll turn. Feed it around the net for Cesarelli, who has 20 power play goals on the year. And it comes right by the left point, and out it comes. Make that Bellows, who has 20 power play goals. 20 of the 35 that Bellows has on the year have been on the power play. And here are the North Stars again, feeding the puck in behind the Penguin goal. Bellows went in. He collides with his own man, McClellan, but the North Stars do have command of it. Bellows in the left wing corner looks to set it up to Mantha. Mantha rifles one. It'll be off the stick of Peter Angelo and hit the glass. Kept in by Minnesota. They've controlled here in this power play with 1:02 to go in the Honeyworth minor. Lemieux, though, finds the puck, and he'll blast it up into Minnesota ice to take the heat out of a hot kitchen. No score, 11:10 to go here in the first period. The Penguins and the North Stars for the final time this year. On the attack, it'll be Bob Brook of Minnesota, decked out on the home wide. He'll break into the Penguins in around Coffey, going behind the net. Coffey caught up with him. Lost his stick, though. The North Stars from behind the net, Dave Archibald, the Minnesota rookie, trying to make a play, but Bellows takes it for the North Stars. Left point to Cesarelli, back to Bellows. Too well covered by Zalapski. Here's Erie on his stomach, passing the puck ahead, and it'll be an illegal hand pass here. Bob Erie had lost his stick, and actually what happened, Coffey lost his stick. Bob Erie gave his to Paul Coffey, and he didn't have one, and then he did the smart thing. That's a smart move by Bob Erie. At least you stop the play. And you don't have to worry about it. Now you can get a new piece of timber. That's heads-up thinking there by Bob Erie. 29 seconds left on the penalty to Randy Honeyworth. Minnesota has lost 7 in a row, as Paul told you at the outset.
Well, they're struggling something fierce.
And won 14-1 in their last 16 games.
They've allowed 295 goals, the most in the league, and they've scored the fewest, 207. So they're last in every category.
They haven't given up the most in the league. Teams given up more than that, Paul?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think they're third down the ladder. I think 2 clubs have given up more goals than Minnesota. That's all right. I know that the numbers are just, you know, mind-boggling at times when you look at them. We'll get a face-off outside of the Penguin line.
Well, you're right. Los Angeles has given up 315 goals.
I think there's one other club that's given up more than Minnesota, but they're right in there.
Toronto, 298.
Yeah. They're right in there among the worst in the league. You know, the Penguins really are not that far behind on that, though. They've given up 275 goals coming into this game. But the Penguins are the highest scoring team in the Patrick division, scoring 266 times. Archibald winning the face-off. The North Stars can't get into Penguin ice. See if we can pick up any difference in the Penguin penalty killing at all, Paul, which they were supposed to have worked on here yesterday. Here's Bob Erie giving the puck away. That'll be a giveaway. Hamshine behind the defense. He's hooked, pulled down. There'll be another penalty coming up against the Penguins. Well, you can't change much doing that. Allowing people to break in alone, you've got to haul them down and let them score a possibility on a breakaway. And here are the Penguins now shorthanded again. They'll be shorthanded for 3 seconds by 2 men. That's almost a play there with Hamshine's scoring ability where you almost have to make a quick decision whether you want to let him shoot it or haul him down. And Hamshine's not a prolific goal scorer. I think I might have let him go and take the chance against Pietrangelo. It's tough. Coffey had that hook right into him, and he wasn't going to slow down, and Hamshine went off the skates.
Yeah, Hamshine had 19 goals with the Canadian Olympic team. He has no goals yet for the North Stars. He's looking for his first, and that might have been his first great opportunity if Coffey wouldn't have hauled him down.
So the hooking call against Paul Coffey. Penguins shorthanded. The North Stars get an advantage here in the fact that they've got a 2-man advantage for 3 seconds, and the face-off is in the Penguins' end to the right of goaltender Frank Pietrangelo. So Minnesota trying to cash in here, and as we said, they're 11th in the NHL on the power play.
You asked what the difference would be in the penalty killing. I think the biggest difference is that Dan Quinn will not be killing penalties here today. I think they've decided that they want to try something different, and Mario Lemieux appears to have stepped in there to become a pretty big force in the penalty killing. I mean, he's done a lot of that this year, but he appears to be the #1 guy up front.
Face-off won by the North Stars. That's a big advantage there, and they slip it up the boards behind the net, but back in the play will be Cunneyworth. Archibald. The North Stars waited too long to get that good shot on the net after winning the face-off. Now from behind the goal, Wally Schreiber steered over near wing to Dave Archibald of Minnesota. Lemieux's in trying to take the puck away. He'll whack one of the Stars. He'll pick the puck up. He's pulled down. Now loose and behind the Penguin goal. Poke free and it scores for the near corner. Bodger of Pittsburgh trying to get it out, and he will. He'll shoot it up ice all the way to the Minnesota goal. John Casey. This is the 3rd power play chance for the North Stars in the game. Still a scoreless hockey game with 9:45 to go. Even the first period, the North Stars are going to be called for icing if the Penguins can get back first here. And Zalapski does. And the North Stars guilty of the icing infraction, and that brings it all the way back into Minnesota territory, and that'll drive a coach as crazy as anything when you do that. Especially when you've got a club killing back-to-back penalties, and you've got the pressure on them, and that gives them an opportunity to rest and get a second wind also.
I think if you can kill off 3 power play opportunities this early in the hockey game, it's got to give your club a big lift. You can breed a lot of confidence in your team when you can kill penalties, and naturally, with the Penguins not being able to kill them this year, that has taken a lot of their confidence away from them.
Last game the North Stars won was right here on the 22nd of February. They beat Toronto in a game. And this face-off won again by Minnesota. They've had pretty good success on the face-offs here today. Going back to center ice, Dave Hunter drops it back into Minnesota ice. So Dan Frawley and Dave Hunter will kill the penalty for the Penguins. Dino Ciccarelli lays it for František Musil. Musil slided all the way to the Penguin net. It's off Pietrangelo to the left wing corner. Brian Bellows of Minnesota. And shot by Bob Brook at the left point. Paul, if you can, maybe just take a look. How many times the North Stars have scored the first goal in the game? If you could look that up and see. I would think with their record, it's not very impressive. And here they come on the attack again with 40 seconds to go. At center.
Believe it or not, Mike, they've won more games when they haven't scored first than they have when they have.
Dumped around to the near corner of Pittsburgh ice. The North Stars again on the power play with the man advantage. They have it. Ciccarelli behind the Penguin net. Around the boards left side to Brian Bellows. Bellows being chased after by Dave Hunter. The Penguins pretty aggressive on the penalty. In front it comes to McClellan. He pulled the trigger, but that was blocked. Musil put it in the near corner. Hunter has the puck and he whips it back to center with 14 seconds to go in the penalty to the Penguins. Paul Coffey. Now the North Stars trying to get in for the final attack here. Left wing corner, McClellan has room. He cuts for the net. Johnson went down, and he blocked the attempted pass to Ciccarelli. Jimmy Johnson has the puck. Can't get it out, though. On the ice comes Coffey. Penguins trying to move it out of the zone. They can't do it. Here's Bob Brook around the net. Ciccarelli turns to shoot it, and Peter Angelo stopped him from point-blank range. Dino Ciccarelli with a good chance, but Peter Angelo says no. We'll be back with a scoreless game in the first period on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Lunch?
I grabbed a pizza.
Lunch?
I grabbed a burger.
The American Dietetic Association says vegetables are an important part of a balanced diet.
Lunch?
I grabbed a hot dog.
No vegetables? Have a V8.
When you can't get to eat vegetables, you can drink them. One delicious glass of V8 juice provides a serving of vegetables.
Thanks for putting me straight, Laura.
Drink V8. Keep your diet straight. Now available in 32-ounce glass.
Well, the North Stars with a good chance to score as Dino Ciccarelli, the big sharpshooter, with 35 goals on the year, set up nicely.
And he whipped that puck to the net. Peter Angelo went down. He didn't get it across to the far post, I believe, as far as he wanted to. And Peter Angelo was able to get that left pad on the shot.
I don't think the Penguins have had a good scoring chance here in this first period against John Casey. And the right point, it comes to Bob Rouse. Penguins had 45 shots against them the other night. The Blues are season high in front of the Penguin net. A deflection by Basil McRae. Just top wide of the goal. Mitch Messier, Basil McRae, and Dave Gagne. Gagne in front, he scores. Dave Gagne blasting one by goaltender Peter Angelo as the Penguins had trouble getting the puck out of their own end. And Gagne just found the loose biscuit 25 feet from the net and blasted it into the twine, and the North Stars lead 1-0.
Gagne's been hot. He's got 7 points in 5 of the last 8 games, 3 goals during that stretch, so you can make it 4 goals in his last 9 games. And he had a great chance there right in the slot, just blasting it past Peter Angelo. Messier making the play from behind the net. He's a cousin of Mark Messier, by the way, Mitch Messier. Brian Erickson played the puck behind the goal, and Paul Coffey was there, but he didn't get to the puck first. He allowed the North Stars to get to it, and they put it out in front to Gagne, and he blasted it up into the upper right-hand corner.
So Gagne, the goal scorer for the North Stars. And at 12:07, Minnesota jumps on top with the first goal of the game. They'll break to the Penguin line, can't get in. Now whip back to center ice, and the North Stars will try and move into the Penguins in again. They're offside. Micheletti offside on the play. And again, Gagne scoring the goal. It will be his 6th of the year, and Messier has an assist on it. There might be another one also, but he just slipped it into the slot, and Gagne found that loose puck and was streaking in, and he had all the room in the world to pull the trigger. Let's pause for station identification here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
WPGH TV 53, Pittsburgh.
Well, the North Stars with the lead. Messier has the only assist. Zalapski into the Minnesota end. Down the right wing. Cuts in deep. Goes behind the net. Zalapski centers in front. Cunneyworth had a chance, and a big save by Casey there on Randy Cunneyworth. That's the Penguins' best chance of the game so far. And what a nice play by Zalapski. A la Paul Coffey. Watch him work as he went down that right side.
They went behind the net and just shoveled it on the backhand. A little saucer pass, too. He had to lift that puck to get it over the stick of the defenseman, Mo Mantha, and it came right to the stick of Cunneyworth, and Casey came over, scrambled over to make a big save. Casey's a quick little goaltender, and he had that stick extended, but he was still able to get over and get his left skate on that shot, I believe, to make the save on Randy Cunneyworth.
Randy just couldn't get underneath the puck. The way it appeared to be kind of on edge, flipping towards it as it came in. The way he would have gone right there, I think, if he'd had his choice, is to get it up high. He put it up about 18 inches up over the left side, but he had it low in case he was able to get back and cut it off and make a good save on it. Well, that's the Penguins' best chance of the first period. And the North Stars and Penguins even in shots with 6 apiece. Cunneyworth behind the net, centers it. Quinn had it deflect off his skater just wide of the goal. And the North Stars now being pressured. Put back to center. Zalapski shoots it up to the Minnesota line. Kurt Giles. Now clubs, when they're losing like Minnesota is, they can score a goal, but all of a sudden you look up and bang, the other team's right in your end. They tie the game, and it happens to you time and time again. And the Penguins are trying to take advantage of that situation.
Well, if we could, I'll give you those stats. The North Stars 7-17-3 when they score the first goal. They've scored the first goal 24 times, make it 25 now. They're 10-25-5 when the other team scores first. So they've been able to come back and win more games than they've won when they have scored the first goal. It's kind of strange, but stats, I guess, are a little less meaningful for teams like this that have just gone through an incredible season of injuries and up and down, and their confidence had to just be drained at times from them.
Coming into this game, they've lost 399 man games. The Penguins are right close to them, though, 364 as far as injuries are concerned. But a little different caliber, I think, of players that the North Stars have out. And we might want to read that list, Paul, when we get a chance to go down and people that are out of the lineup with injuries for Minnesota. Here's Bob Brook now in the Minnesota end behind the net. And the North Stars, Gordon will whip it up to center to Dave Gagne, who has the only goal of the game. Gagne of Minnesota, snap it to the right wing corner of the Penguin zone. Back to play, it'll be Dave Hunter. Hunter with the Penguins, looking to get around Basil McCray. Finally gets it to Robbie Brown, and a lead pass now to Jimmy Johnson. 6:15 to go in the first period. 1-0 Minnesota. Drop pass to Kevin Stevens. His wrist shot deflected, and that'll go up into the seats here at the Met Center. 1-0 North Stars right here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
There's something special cooking at Eden Park. Always has been.
Mike Lang was referring to the injury problem. The North Stars have lost 2 of their top offensive players in Neil Broughton and Craig Hartsburg. They've also lost Kurt Fraser, Dennis Marouk, Tom Hirsch, Scott Bukestad, who's been a pretty good offensive performer, although he had a kind of an off year last year, and Sean Chambers. So they've lost a lot, and particularly Hartsburg and Broughton, 2 guys who are leaders on this club, too.
Well, the North Stars have command of the puck, and they control. Kurt Giles with it, steer it ahead to center. Wally Schreiber will leave it for Mark Abscheid. Abscheid will push it up into the Penguin right wing corner. Bob Erie, Mario Lemieux, and Brian Erickson now playing. Rob Brown's off this line. It comes back in front. Bellows with a turning shot. Blocked by Billy Siren. Penguin defenseman. Bellows, with pressure on again. He's a hard worker, boy. I'll tell you, Bellows and Cicerelli impressed me in Pittsburgh. Despite the North Stars losing their 8-3 the last time in, they really did come to play. And they played it tough, too, down the stretch, and were fighting off the checks the Penguins were giving them, and they had pretty good control of the game, and they were in the game. They showed a little heart. Here is Billy Siren coming to center. Now he'll skate to the Minnesota line. Down the right side. Offside play against the Penguins. Bob Erie way ahead on the right wing. Too far in. Devils score again. They lead Philadelphia now 5-3 in the second. So they can move into 4th place this afternoon. The Rangers tonight will be at Washington in a big battle there. This is a very important game for the Penguins right here, boy. I'll tell you, if New Jersey should win and the Rangers win, all of a sudden the Penguins are sitting in a situation where they got a pretty tough thing to get back in here, boy. It's going to be awfully tough.
And the problem is you come into a game like this figuring you should win, and anytime you think you should win is when you don't win. I mean, every team can beat you on any night. Look at the North Stars. Yes, they did lose 8-3, but they could have gotten right back into that game early in the 3rd period. Steve Gannett had to make some big saves, and as it was, they took 40 shots on goal in that game.
Yep. And here's Momantha now from behind the Minnesota goal, lead it up to Gordoni. They lay a pass to center, and the North Stars often move into the Penguin line. Lawton left side to Cicerelli. Try to go back in front. Out of the midair area, Mantha couldn't get a piece of it. Momantha was in deep. Here come the Penguins 3-on-2. Zalapski left side. Drop pass to Quinn. Back to Zalapski, and it's broken up neatly by Gordoni. Zalapski behind the net. He's all over the ice right now. Zarley behind the goal, and John Casey. Zalapski way in deep. Tried to flip it in front. He couldn't do it. Puck's on the meshing, and they call for a face-off. Now, Zalapski, you know, it's funny because in most defensemen, you'd say, what is he doing in there and that type of thing? But Zalapski's so gifted, his ability is like a forward in there, and he can take that play, and you've got to be very alert to be able to cover back and cover the points and cover defense when he goes in.
It's kind of ironic, too, because when he was playing for the Canadian Olympic team, anytime we had a chance to see him in international competition, he was so defensive-minded because he was playing Dave King's system, and you think, how the heck could they compare him to Paul Coffey? He doesn't look anything like him, and yet as soon as he got into a Penguin uniform, he just was like they took the harness off him, and he just away he went. And he's been playing that kind of game since he joined the Penguins.
Not only that, I think Zarley is a little better defensive player than Paul Coffey is. And his ability to get back in his own end after making a rush is much stronger than Coffey's. Not taking anything away from Paul. It's just the difference in the two men.
I think he's physically stronger than Coffey, too.
Yep, and here's the face-off control by Minnesota. Gagne coming to center. He has the only goal in the game. 4:42 to go. Right side, Bob Rouse put it in front, and Gagne just that close to deflecting it towards a goal, but he couldn't connect. Back to center, Lemieux on the rush. Right side, Minnesota in. Lemieux comes in, being checked from behind. He still comes in. His backhand shot to save. The rebound. It's stopped by Casey right in front. Oh, Lemieux with people draped all over him. Still got that shot off. And there'll be a penalty coming up here, but Lemieux still got that shot off somehow, and Casey was able to deny. We've got a 1-0 Minnesota lead on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Yes, Mrs. Ferber. I'll be right over. What's up? It's Alex. He's been burying things in Mrs. Ferber's garden again.
Right here.
Alex, a bottle of Stroh's.
Keep digging.
Nice, Alex. 15-pack.
Keep digging.
With Stroh's and Stroh Light 15 and 30 packs, you get more beer.
How did he get a whole truck down there?
Why don't we ask the driver?
Mario Lemieux got involved physically in this game right from the start, and I think he's going to have one of those nights where he's really jumping, or afternoons, I should say. Basil McRae came in and tripped him. Got the stick in around the leg, the left leg behind it, and pulled him down, and Lario was still able to get the shot away. Casey making the save and then stopping Perry Gancher on the follow-up shot.
That was Coffey that took the shot. Coffey had the shot, the opportunity. And Quinn out here, the Penguins power play opportunity number 2 in the afternoon. They trail 1-0. Bodger to Lemieux. Left side to Doug Bodger again. Back to Mario. Near boards halfway up. And not a good pass by Mario to Bodger. Was too high and too hard. Robbie Brown was decked in the Minnesota end. He is hurt. And we've got a cross-checking call coming up here against the North Stars. Bob Rouse was sent off. He really drilled Robbie Brown in the slot area. And I mean hammered him. He never saw it at all. Just crunched him. And the Penguins get a 2-man advantage here. Just not a good penalty there by Rouse to get caught on anyway. Robbie Brown trying to make people pay the price, and Robbie is hurt. He really got hit and blindsided.
He was shaking that left arm and probably went numb on him. He got hit so hard in the back.
I don't think that'd be much fun.
No.
When you don't know what's coming and you can't see it, and somebody blindsides you, and Bob Rouse just trying to clear people away from the net, and you're going to see Robbie Brown. He'll be right back in. He'll be hanging around that goal mouth. You can bet your life on it. 2-man advantage for 1 minute and 46 seconds for the Penguins.
Well, Rouse is the guy they count on to do that kind of stuff defensively, particularly when they're shorthanded. You look for that big, strong, tough guy in front of the net.
And you're right. And a lot of times you'll be able to get away with that, too, because you've already got the situation where you're shorthanded, but he just was too obvious with that. Here's Bodger left side to Lemieux into the Minnesota end. Penguins with a 2-man advantage, an opportunity here with a turkey right on the table. Here in front of Brown. He shoots it right up the post to the left of John Casey. Robbie Brown is after it. Right wing board. He'll give it to Paul Coffey. Coffey moves in, doesn't shoot it. Goes to Lemieux. He's there. Shot and a glove save made by Casey. The rebound play to the near side. Lemieux again with the puck. Lemieux and the Penguins 9th in the league in the power play to Doug Bodger. Right side of Coffey. Minnesota leads 1-0. Back to Bodger to Coffey. Rifles it in and missed the net. Robbie Brown from behind the goal. The North Stars take it away, but they can't clear it out. Bodger on the left side. Right side Coffey. Now to Lemieux. Mario in the left wing circle. Now backpedals to the near boards. Mario Lemieux walks in. They let him go. They're trying to sweep check it away. It goes to Coffey. He'll put one in front. Blocked by the Minnesota defense, and Gordonine flips it up ice. 51 seconds to go on the penalty. To McRae. Penguins on a 2-man advantage. Bodger leads the rush into the Minnesota end. Lemieux, right side over to Coffey. The Penguins can be patient right here. They've got the 2-man advantage. It comes to Lemieux. Ciccarelli's the forward out here with Dave Gagne. They go to a 2-forward penalty killing system with a 2-man disadvantage. Right side, Coffey. Coffey looking back for Lemieux. He's there. His shot. He missed the goal. Off the glass and behind the net. Brown in front of Bodger, and he can't get it by Casey. Now the Pens do score. Bodger, I think, may have deflected it in on the second chance, and the Penguins get a power play goal to tie the game at 1. Oh, look out, Loretta. Robbie Brown was right around that net also, but I think Bodger was the man that touched it last.
Well, that's a classic case of not moving somebody out from in front of the net. So Doug Bodger was able to just park himself in front of John Casey, and Ciccarelli was there, and he just kind of waved the stick at Bodger. And, you know, you got to hit a guy there in that situation.
I think it might be Brown.
Regardless of who scored the goal, Ciccarelli did not take Bodger on the play. Bodger put it off the right skate and then tried to just push it back to the net. Casey got a stick down, and I think it was Bodger who's going to get the goal. It looked like it deflected, took a funny hop in off Casey and went into the net.
Now there's the other side of it. When you play the 2 forwards up front, you don't have that size with Ciccarelli up front. If you've got a big defenseman in there, maybe he can move Bodger out a little easier. But Bodger will get the goal, apparently. And it'll be his 12th of the year.
Bodger with the first assist to number 44, Rob Brown, and the second assist to number 66, Mario Lemieux.
All right, so the Penguins now with a 1-1 tie, and they have time left on this penalty. To Rouse, a cross-checking call, but not much, and they're back in their own end. Zalapski spinning ahead to Coffey. Watch this duo work. Here's Coffey on the right side, looks for the trailer. Lemieux goes in deep on the play, behind the net. Swinging around near side, but Dino Ciccarelli is right there, and he'll blast it away. And the North Stars will kill the penalty to Rouse. And the Penguins will be 1 for 4 in the power play. Zalapski looked ahead. Pass too far for Rob Brown. Trickles into Minnesota territory with 2:05 to go here in the first period. The North Stars and the Penguins tied at 1.
Alice Cheeman of Gibsonia, Pennsylvania, picks up $100 on our Stroh's power play contest.
Jimmy Johnson decking Wally Schreiber of Minnesota inside the Penguin line. The Penguins burst back 3-on-2. Robbie Brown has a trailer and Hunter goes to him. He shoots and scores. Dave Hunter snapped one off, and the Penguins lead 2-1. Oh, Michael motorcycle. Boy, Davey Hunter really snapped that one, set up by Robbie Brown.
That's his 11th goal of the season as a Penguin, his 14th of the season, right at the top of the circle. Really gunned it on a nice soft pass, perfect pass from Robbie Brown. Brown playing center today, able to come down that left side and just dish it off. And Hunter's got a fantastic wrist shot with a lot of authority on it, probably the hardest wrist shot on the Penguin club. And he just let that one fly, and it just kind of rose up into the net of that upper left-hand corner.
Rouse had kind of screened him on the play, but he just got enough. He picked the corner on him. The shot was there, and it got in by the right arm of goaltender John Casey. So the Penguins scoring twice now in the first period to take a 2-1 lead. And Hunter has it again, and Robbie Brown, who was dumped heavily on that cross-check, was hurt. Gets right back up and assist on 2 goals. On the left side, here's Bellows working to the Penguins end. Down the right side, he'll snap one off. And the skate save is made by Peter Angelo. The rebound bounced away and behind the Penguin goal. Busk is hauling down one of the North Stars. Minnesota still with the puck. They lay it right in front of the net, and Peter Angelo is going to smother up on it. We've got a break in the action. The Penguins 2 and the North Stars 1. Right here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
This is different. The Donnelly Directory has the talking yellow pages. A new service. Horoscopes, financial news, weather reports, lots of free information.
Storm approaching.
It talks. Sounds new to me. Only the Donnelly Directory has the talking yellow pages, the latest information a phone call away. The yellow pages, and much, much more.
Recapping the Dave Hunter goal from Robbie Brown and Jim Johnson. The goal at 18:11. The Penguins scoring twice in a minute and 1 second. And they have the lead now as we have less than a minute to go here in the first period. And the North Stars working into the Penguin zone. Troy Loney on for the first time today. It's deflected right in front of the Penguin net and went wide to the near corner. Gagne working with Bob Brook and Basil McRae for the North Stars. They slip it again in front of the Penguin goal, and Peter Angelo able to clear it aside, but not out. Now Lemieux will carry the mail. He'll come with Dan Quinn and Troy Loney. And the Penguins are offside. Well, I was kidding with Danny Quinn that he'd be playing on at least some things have been kind of consistent here over the last 3 weeks. He's been playing center an awful lot, and he wouldn't be mixing and matching. And here he is out here. Well, he is playing center because Lemieux's on the right wing. I think. I don't know. Here comes Loney off. Now Lemieux's going to step in here and play with Dave Hunter and Dan Frawley.
I think I used the word rose on Dave Hunter's shot. It rose him in that. I don't think that's a word. It was a rising shot. It's like saying go for the puck.
Well, I won't call you Rose. Here's Giles now moving back for the North Stars with 20 seconds to go in the first period. Bounced away and behind the Penguin net. Coffey directs it around near side. Bob Rouse, the Minnesota defenseman, does hold it in. Way to the near corner. Ciccarelli of Minnesota. Work it right in behind the Penguin net. And now Lemieux fires it around with 4 seconds to go, but the Penguins can't get it out. And the horn helps the Penguin cause there as the period ends. We've played one here at the Met Center, and they're expecting kind of blizzard conditions outside. It's snowy, cold, and windy, but inside the Penguins have warmed up. They lead 2-1 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
We'll be at the Schaefer's, okay?
Remember. End of one, and they got on the board first here today, even though they had several power play chances. They never got the power play goal, but they got one from Dave Gagne, who came down the slot and really teed one up. He had a lot of time to just blister that shot. He made a perfect shot up to the upper right-hand corner on Frank Pietrangelo, and a nice setup from behind the net by Mitch Messier. Messier beat Coffey to the puck and centered it to Gagne. Penguins tied it at 1 on a goal by Doug Bodger on the power play. They had the two-man advantage, and Bodger went right to the net. Robbie Brown took the puck off the glass and gave it to Bodger, who whacked at it, went off the skate. He got it back and kept whacking at that puck until he finally put it in, with Dino Ciccarelli just waving the stick at him instead of taking the body in front of the net. Bodger had all day to just keep whacking away until the puck finally went in behind John Casey, and that tied it at 1. And then Robbie Brown again assisting. Another goal, this time cutting down the left side across the line and made a nice little pass. Went wide and then just dropped it back to Hunter, who got in a good scoring position and really let a wrist shot go. There was a rising shot up over the right shoulder of Casey, upper left-hand corner, to make it 2-1. Hunter's 14th of the year from Brown and Johnson at 18-11. And that's where we stand right now. The Penguins with a 2-1 lead over the Minnesota North Stars, and the Pens outshot Minnesota 12-8 in that first period. By the way, the assists on Bodger's goal went to Brown and Lemieux at 17-10.
Ironman football returns this spring at the Civic Arena as the Gladiators take to the arena floor for a full season of indoor arena football. All the face-past, high-scoring, non-stop action of the 50-yard indoor war will be back, and you can be a part of it all by purchasing Gladiator season tickets for a 6-game schedule. They're on sale now. $90 for sidelines, $72 for reserve. So call 642-1985 during business hours for more information. Bob Paradise, an opportunity to talk to him between periods on the television side of our broadcast today, and he reminded me that he'd like to inform Bugsy Watson, a former Penguin who now owns a big pizza shop down in the Alexandria, Virginia area, that he's still waiting for his pizza. And Bugsy and the folks there, if you're watching this afternoon on the dish, he'd like to have it sent personally to his house and just as soon as possible because he's quite hungry. So pass the word along. Even if Bugsy's not there, tell him to get hopping.
Bugsy and Beeper, they were real partners when the Penguins came in for the Old Timers game there a couple times, and they really enjoyed themselves getting around town and having a good time.
Dan Quinn cruising back to the Minnesota end to begin period number 2 to Frawley, a slap shot and he'll miss. We'll get to our good Giant Eagle goal-getter in just a moment and let you know who that is for the second period. The North Stars' Mo Mantha corrals the puck, banging around to the near side. If the Penguins can get an early goal here, I think they can pretty much walk away with a win here in Minnesota. I don't say easily, but I think that'll put the North Stars right back on their heels, where they've been so decimated by injuries. They've lost 7 in a row, and they're just going to have to, start saying to themselves, here we go again. Let's go to our goal-getter.
Kerry Cornell of East Liverpool, Ohio is our contestant. And Kerry has chosen Paul Coffey, $400 worth of groceries in the jackpot. You know, this is one building where if they don't have a big crowd, it doesn't look so bad because every seat's a different color in this building. And you get one solid color of seats, and then they're all empty, and you can really tell the building's empty. But there's not a very good crowd here today for the North Stars, and they've got the high school hockey going on, the big tournament. And today, a couple of consolation games being played over in St. Paul, and they have the big championship game tonight. And that has really kind of caught the attention of all the hockey fans in this area, what with the North Stars having the worst record in the NHL.
Well, Edina beat Warroad last night in double overtime, 2-1 to win that game. I'm not sure. It seems to me like Murray Hill or something like that.
Hill Murray.
Hill Murray, all right. The other school that'll be in the state championship final tonight.
2 city schools, by the way, Mike. Warroad, the city where the Christian brothers come from, the famous Christian brothers who played in the Olympics in 1960 and again in 1980. And Warroad really was the underdog last night, and they made a heck of a game out of it, and it was really enjoyable to watch.
And they were 25-0 on the year, Warroad was, and yet they come from a high school that has only 200 youngsters in it, as compared to Edina, I guess, which is a rather large school, so everybody was kind of pulling for the underdog, but not to be. Edina won it, and they'll go to the state championship. North Stars scored deep into Penguin ice. There'll be an icing call against Minnesota. Well, the Devils have struck again for another goal. They lead Philadelphia 6-3, so the Devils, with a win today against Philadelphia, could move temporarily, at least for the moment, into 4th place in the Patrick Division. The Rangers again play tonight at Washington. We played 57 seconds here in the second period. Still the Penguins leading 2-1 in a face-off in Minnesota ice to the right of goaltender John Casey.
You know, Mike, we talked about high school hockey, and people at home might be thinking, what's the big deal? But here it's an incredible deal because it's a state tournament, and they had 8 hours of uninterrupted hockey telecast yesterday on a network affiliate here in the Minnesota area. So you could just turn on the TV in the afternoon and watch hockey games until about midnight last night. It just was on the same station. And again, a network affiliate. That's how big it is here. And of course, the building just full over there in St. Paul. And they really go crazy over high school hockey here.
Mario Lemieux with Troy Loney and Perry Ganchard now out for the Penguins. Lemieux winning the draw. Played it back outside the Minnesota line, and Billy Searin, the Penguin defenseman, cuts in, and Ganchard stayed in the zone too long. And he was offside as Billy Searin brought it in. I'll tell you, had the tournament time, of course, college basketball going on, and the folks running that all day long, and you just couldn't find it anywhere. Any place you went, I mean, the state hockey championship games were all in progress, or not championship, but the playoffs, and they just dominate up here. I'll say this, the weather's conducive to it now. We're hoping to get out of here tonight to head on to Winnipeg. Good Lord willing, the blizzard will not have arrived. We don't know what's going on outside, but we know there's going to be some snow and heavy winds here, and drifts in Minnesota here this evening. Now back to center ice, and the Penguins have the puck. Coffey leads it up right wing to Brian Erickson. Has a man cutting for the net. Bob Erie put it in front to him, and a stop by Casey, who got his goaltender stick on it. Well, Bob Erie went right to the net. But couldn't get it by John Casey. McClellan is zoned in. Plays it over to Bob Rouse, the Minnesota defenseman. A minute and a half gone in the second period. Still the Penguins lead 2-1. Rod Buskus had it, gave it away. Radicek Musil. Steer it to the Penguin goal. It's off Peter Angelo, but right in front of the net. Coffey is an easy time with nobody around. Lay it up the left wing to Bob Erie. He's going to blast one. It'll hit the glass behind goaltender John Casey. Cleared by the North Stars. Mark Habscheid back to center circle. And Bob Erie chases after it again. Leaving his own in for Jim Johnson. Johnson, whose roots are here in this area, snaps a long pass deep into the Minnesota zone. Played up the boards by the North Stars. And Mark Habscheid looks ahead for Brian Bellows. Has he? Bellows going the left wing into the Penguins in. A drop pass for Habscheid. Cut around Hunter, but knocked away. And here are the Penguins back 4-on-2. Rob Brown to Dave Hunter. Hunter in the right wing, Minnesota in. Drop pass to Brown. Cuts across the slot. A good move. He shoots and scores. Robbie Brown let it go, and it might have been touched by Stevens. But Robbie Brown, you talk about a major league play. He didn't follow in. He cut across on that lateral move across, looked for the net, and fired it home. And the Penguins now lead 3-1.
Well, Robbie Brown, number 44, made the play that number 99 has become famous for. You'll see Dan Quinn make that play, too. It's a great play. He cut across the slot. He faked the shot once and then let it rip, and it went right inside the left post. And Kevin Stevens, that big, strong guy, going right to the net to cause some problems for John Casey. It looked like it might have hit something on the way in.
Yeah, I thought it hit something on the way in. So the Penguins take a 3-1 lead. But Robbie Brown made a nice move there to cut across. I'll tell you, the guy that made that move famous was Wayne Gretzky. I mean, the way
That's what I said, yeah.
You said Lemieux, I think, Paul.
No, I said Gretzky, I think. I hope I did. I said number 99. Did I say Lemieux?
Here back on the move is the North Stars cutting back into the Penguins' end. 3-1. The Penguins have the lead right now. And Rob Brown, who's had a big afternoon. Kevin Stevens can't get into Minnesota ice. And check this out. Radicek Musil with the puck. Leave it on the right wing for Gord Dineen. Dineen steps up, feed it inside the Penguin stripe. And Dan Quinn is right there, and he'll turn it off the boards. Robbie Brown will get the goal, his 18th of the year. And Dave Hunter has the only assist as we take a timeout as play is stopped at center ice. 3-1 the Penguins lead on the Penguins Hockey Network.
This period is brought to you by your world-class Pittsburgh Metro Ford dealers.
What do you think of the Ford Festiva?
It's big.
Small.
Nah, it's big.
Sort of a big smallness.
Festiva gives you features like a roomy interior, 660 powertrain warranty, sometimes even your own parking space. So it's big and small.
How about Festiva's price?
It's small.
It's nothing. Small smallness.
Ford Festiva. Call it big, call it small. Call it yours for only $54.90.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Well, the North Stars draw a penalty. Pat Micheletti gets a holding call at 3:14. And here are the Penguins on their 5th power play opportunity. They're 1 for 4. Again, Robbie Brown from Dave Hunter in the Penguin goal at 2:24. Well, the North Stars got up to the lead at 12:07 of period number 1, but it's been the Penguins who have come back. Scored on a power play goal and a 2-man advantage in the first period, then a goal by Dave Hunter. There's Micheletti's holding penalty against Dave Hunter, hauling him down.
Hunter were immediately looking for the call, and he got it.
Outside of the Minnesota blue line, Bob Brook in a penalty-killing role. On here with Dave Gagne for the North Stars and Coach Herb Brooks. Radicek Musil and Bob Rouse, and the North Stars control the draw, and they dump it all the way to the Penguins in. Frank Pietrangelo. Up ahead, it comes to center to Randy Cunningham. He'll break to the North Stars line. Leave it for Mario Lemieux. Good drop pass to Coffey. Slap shot and a good save by Casey. The Minnesota goaltender to glove it with the left hand and hold it for a faceoff.
John Casey is a guy who is a Minnesota native, played at the University of North Dakota, played 46 games for the Baltimore Skipjacks in the 84-85 season, had a 2.63 goals against average that year, and the North Stars really thought they had something in John Casey, but kind of went backwards from that point and hasn't had a chance to really show what he can do since until this time right now, where he's played in 3 games. This is his 4th game this season. He's got a save percentage coming in of .894 and a 3.40 goals against average. No wins yet.
Power play with a minute and a half to go on the minor penalty to Micheletti and the North Stars. Directed up into Penguin territory, and again Pietrangelo has to handle the puck for Paul Coffey. Coffey and Bodge with the point men. Dan Quinn, Robbie Brown. The three-point afternoon of Mario Lemieux up front. The North Stars steal at center. Mark Hampshire of Minnesota back into his own end for Bob Rouse. And the North Stars blue liner rifles it up into the seats. And they're going to bring the face-off all the way back into Minnesota ice. Well, there's a situation where you dropped it back in your own end and it ended up costing you. Bob Rouse, I don't think the most gifted guy at handling the puck, and maybe not the wisest move. Maybe should have turned and dumped it from center ice. Whoever dropped it back, I think it was Hampshire, and sent it back the other way. But it was not to be, and so now the Penguins get a face-off to the right of goaltender John Casey.
You know, Mike, I mentioned in the open of today's telecast that Herb Brooks is not in a very good mood lately. I'll tell you, he's always been very nice to me in the times I've talked to him, and he was with the Rangers, and we had a chance to talk to him a lot, but he was not a very nice man this morning. I got to tell you, he was just in a terrible mood.
Well,
I can understand why.
That's right. I can't say I blame him. Here the left point, it comes to Coffey in the Minnesota end. Right side is Zalapsky. Fires it, and he just missed. It went off the boards and hops all the way back to center. Paul Coffey couldn't control, and Dave Gagne will. He has the only Minnesota goal to Bob Brooks. Shoot it to the net. Stop. Rebound. Look out. Right in front. And Peter Angelo has to smother that puck. Well, the North Stars get a shorthanded goal there, and they're right back in the game. And Gagne almost deflected that in by Peter Angelo.
Bob Brook just pushing it to the net. Peter Angelo played it with the stick and then went for it with the glove. But in the meantime, Gagne almost was able to drive that puck between the legs of Frankie. He was able to cover it up.
47 seconds left in the Minnesota penalty to Pat Micheletti. And we have 15:33 left here in the second period at Philadelphia. The Devils lead Philadelphia 6-3. 6-3 in the third. And here are the Penguins controlling this faceoff. Zalapsky and Coffey remain out as point men. Cunnyworth and Stevens play on the other side for Mario Lemieux at center. Zalapsky carries the mail. He'll come to center and deliver the puck into the North Stars zone. Casey cuts it off behind the net, the North Stars goaltender. Played around to the near side. Minnesota trying to move it out. Having problems. Lemieux. Right back to Cunnyworth. Cunnyworth. To the right point to Zalapsky. Zalapsky swing a left point pass over to Paul Coffey of Pittsburgh. Across down to Lemieux in front, and it hit his stick and bounces over near wing. Cunnyworth has it. Goes back to Lemieux. Spin it up to Coffey center point. Around the net. Back for Mario. Put it behind the goal for Cunnyworth. Stevens is there also. Somebody's got to get in front of that net. Stevens works it off the near board. Zalapsky pinches in to keep it alive. Now Stevens near corner. Cunnyworth and Stevens. The penalty is expired. The North Stars are back to equal strength, and Stevens cut in and put one on. Stopped by John Casey, and the North Stars turn. Lopped it up into the penalty box area. We'll take a timeout. The Penguins lead here at the Met Center. 3-1 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
You know, the other day my MCI rep called me up. Says he'd like to stop by with some new ideas. I think my long distance gets complicated again. Then he shows me how I've outgrown my current MCI service. And with a couple of changes, I can have more efficient, more economical long distance. I couldn't believe it. This MCI guy called me up to lower the bill.
Until you call, you'll never know how much better a long-distance company can be. MCI. Let us show you.
A lot of Penguin fans again here this afternoon from Tarentum and McKeesport. Marianne Drakulik. Also, Bill Artoski from New Kensington. Jimmy Flynn, who makes his home here now. And Carol wanted to say hello to everybody back home. And a lot of folks, Paul, traveling and watching the Penguins this year. Here's Cicerelli feeding the puck in the backhand back into Pittsburgh ice. And Rod Busquets going back in behind his own goal. Cicerelli beating to the puck. Dino Cicerelli. 3-1 the Penguins lead here in the second. So Brian McClellan. Right back to Dino. And Dino being pushed in behind the goal by Dave Hunter. Gets that puck, comes out in front, trying to get a shot up. Now a shot by McClellan. Did it go in or not? No, Peter Angelo stopped it. Ryan McClellan thought he had himself a goal. He raised that stick up, but Frank Peter Angelo stopped him cold from 8 feet away. Boy, Frankie making a tough stop there on big Brian McClellan. And Dino Cicerelli simply outworked the Penguins.
Yes, he did. Dave Hunter had him and then let him go, and Cicerelli was able to work that puck in front. McClellan with a turning shot. Peter Angelo somehow stopped that with his right pad. The puck was underneath his right pad. Peter Angelo right in the crease, back in the net, able to make that save. It was shot underneath his right leg, and it pinned it against the ice with his right pad.
Left wing circle, Penguin zone. Almost 6 minutes gone here in period number 2, and Zalapsky pulled up his skates. Lawton trying to feed it out in front. Now Zalapsky pulled down by Dino Cicerelli. McClellan comes in, and Zalapsky's on top of the puck. The Penguins made a defensive change after the scoring chance, and they bring out Zalapsky now to work with Doug Bodger. Bodger has one of the 3 Penguin goals. Dave Hunter one, and Robbie Brown his 18th of the year. And Zarly Zalapski stares on.
You can tell that Zarly comes from a family that really stressed education, and you know, he just handles himself. He's got a lot of class, and his dad's a lawyer, and you can just tell that he's got a lot of smarts.
Well, it doesn't help to combine the smarts with the ability that he has, too, on the ice. You put that combination together, boy, that could be deadly. Here's Bodger taking a heavy check from Dino Ciccarelli. Zalapski, though, cruising back into the Minnesota end. He's pulled down by Mantha. Play goes on. Right in behind the Minnesota goal. Zalapski's in digging for it. Played near side to Brian McClellan. McClellan scoots up the center. Check from behind by Troy Loney. The North Stars do skate the puck back into the Penguins' end. Quinn pulls down Brian Lawton. And the Penguins will get a penalty here. Danny Quinn stares at Lawton as if to say, well, you helped that one along, but Quinn will get the penalty, and Pittsburgh will be on the short end of it right now with a 3-1 lead on the Penguins Hockey Network.
What do you think of the Ford Festiva?
It's big.
Small.
Nah, it's big.
Sort of a big smallness.
Festiva gives you features like a roomy interior, 660 powertrain warranty, sometimes even your own parking space. So it's big and small.
How about Festiva's price?
It's small.
It's nothing. Small smallness.
Ford Festiva. Call it big, call it small. Call it yours for only $54.90.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Well, Dino Ciccarelli playing the game very tough, and a good solid shoulder check on Doug Bodger of the Penguins. He in the corner. And then Dan Quinn drawing a penalty here as he pulled down Brian Lawton.
He put the stick into his waist and spun him around, pulled him down.
Power play chance number 4 for the North Stars. They are 0 for 3 on the afternoon. And the North Stars have it. Mantha shoots one. That went wide of the goal. Played up in behind the net area. Wally Schreiber of Minnesota. Right wing pass to Dave Archibald. Back to Schreiber. Still working the right side of the Penguins in. Right point to Lawton. Now back to Schreiber. Right-handed shooter around the net. Looks for Archibald. Centers it. Lemieux cut it off in front. Dave Hunter and Mario Lemieux killing the penalty. Here's Lemieux back one-on-one against Mantha. He comes into the Minnesota end down the left side. Going to try and make a move, but he cuts across now. Has a chance. He has the open net. He shot it and missed. It was deflected at the last second. Oh, Lemieux putting on the Ritz there on that move. And now wrapped back into the Penguins in. And you know, Mo Mantha's seen that play a few times because he played with the Penguins. He'd gone one-on-one against Lemieux in practice even. And Mario turned him around. Now the play stopped in the Penguins in as they freeze it on the far boards. Boy, Mario had Casey down too, but I don't know who, if Mantha got a piece of it or Casey on the shot.
Well, we said that there'll be some changes in the penalty killing today, and Lemieux has been the #1 man up front for the Penguins killing penalties. Normally he's out there in the last half of the penalty, but not this time, and he had a chance offensively coming down on Mo Mantha. Swung that puck around to Mantha and took the shot, and Mantha just got a stick on it at the last second to deflect that puck wide of the net.
Well, he made a good play to get that stick out because Lemieux with that long reach, you're talking 2 big, long, lanky guys in Mantha and Lemieux. And there was a case where Mo's size helped him would be able to reach to stay with Lemieux.
Not only that, but Lemieux knew he had to beat Casey too, and having to take that extra stride over to get Casey out of position allowed Mantha to get himself back into play and get the stick out to deflect the shot wide of the goal.
It's funny, too, because he had Casey helpless. He had him beat. He did. All right, here's Lemieux back again, one-on-one against Lawton this time. Not a defenseman. Lemieux comes in, looks for a Traeger. Now's going to shoot it. He just missed on the far post. And Lemieux's shot comes off the boards all the way back into the Penguins in. Mario tried to pick the corner on John Casey. If he'd have got it over another 2 inches, he'd have had a goal. Bob Brook, lay it back. Lawton now takes command of it, and the North Stars are a little uneasy right now. They're on edge because Lemieux is making it happen. He is making them think. That's center ice. Brian Lawton cruising back into the Penguins in. Right side pass to Ciccarelli. Dino Ciccarelli working to the right wing corner for Brian Lawton. Zalapski takes a piece of him, but Bellows has command of it. 33 seconds on the penalty. To the right point, McClellan. Over there, can't hold it in. And it hops back to center. Lemieux and Dan Frawley killing the penalty at the moment. Left wing, here's Bellows in the Penguin ice. Brian Bellows of Minnesota. In the slot as McClellan. The pass too hard. It hopped off his skates. He'll chase it down to the right wing corner for Minnesota. Behind the net for Brian Lawton. Lawton of the Stars being pressured by Doug Bodger. The North Stars on a power play working in front. Here's Lemieux clearing the puck right off the doorstep to the near boards, and he clears it out too, and he collides with Brian Bellows. And the puck out of play. Brian Bellows and Mario Lemieux have some words. Well, Mario doing quite a job of killing this penalty.
To say the least, he was out there for the entire 2 minutes, shy of 3 seconds. That's how much time's left on the penalty to Quinn. And now Lemieux's going to go to the penalty box after all that. He and Bellows are both going to sit down. They whacked each other with a stick. But Bob Airy was standing up on the bench for the long time, hoping to get onto the ice and give Lemieux a rest, but he never got that opportunity. Mario just stayed out there. And one thing that was impressive about Lemieux's job on that penalty killing, he came out and challenged the point man, but he also sagged back and came back and cleaned up the area in front of his own net. When he knew the opportunity was there, he'd come back and clear the puck off the doorsteps. He was covering a lot of territory in his own end, and not only that, getting a couple of offensive chances. So just showing that tremendous stamina that he has, covering the entire ice surface and still with some energy to spare.
On the Penguins, number 66, Mario Lemieux, a minor penalty for slashing. On the North Stars, number 23, Brian Bellows, a minor penalty for cross-checking. The time of the penalties, 8:29.
Penguins lead here 3-1. And the minor penalties assessed to Mario Lemieux and Brian Bellows. Rob Brown out for the Penguins. He's figured in on all 3 Penguin goals. Has one and is assisted on two others. And there's Coffey now, slipping the puck into the North Stars in. Casey misplayed that puck, but Frantisek Musil has it for Minnesota. Left wing pass to Dave Gagne. Rink wide. Off the boards, corralled by Mo Mantha. Bringing the puck to the Penguins in. He goes down the slot. Look out. Leaves it open, and he's almost trying to turn it around and shoot it, but he couldn't quite do it on the backhand. Now the Penguins burst back, and Rob Brown looking for Paul Coffey, and he surveys the scene. 3-on-2 break into the Minnesota end. Goes down the right side. Tried to slide it back to Robbie Brown. He was looking for him, cutting down the slot. Couldn't get the pass to him. Still alive in the Minnesota end. Brown goes behind the net. It's solidly by Mitch Messier of Minnesota. And Mantha now leads ahead and relays the pass to center to Basil McRae. McRae with a long slap shot from 50. That'll miss on the rebound. It comes off the board. The shot deflected, goes in behind the Penguin net. Coffey trying to work it away, and it comes off a stick right up into the seats. We're halfway home here in the second period. 10:26 to go. 3-1 Pittsburgh on the Penguins Hockey Network.
We interrupt this commercial to bring you a special McDonald's broadcast. Right now at McDonald's, for just 99 cents, you can get any breakfast sandwich. I repeat, any of 4 great-tasting breakfast sandwiches for 99 cents. Wait, the latest just in. Now you can also get a Filet-O-Fish sandwich for just 99 cents. Hurry to McDonald's and get any Filet-O-Fish or breakfast sandwich for just 99 cents. This concludes McDonald's special broadcast.
Penguin bench. The Penguins have won 3 of their last 4. And trying to make it 4 or 5 here at Minnesota this afternoon. Winnipeg tomorrow on our Penguin Radio Network only to complete the road trip. Mark Abshai giving the puck back to the Minnesota defenseman Kurt Giles. Giles looking for Wally Schreiber. Schreiber skates up. Penguin standing tall at the blue line. He has nowhere to go, so he works it off the sideboards in behind the net. Zalapsky very quick to get that puck out. Boy, that's a gift. I'll tell you, it is. And when you see players like Zalapsky able to move that puck very quickly out of his own end, that takes a lot of the pressure off people. At center ice, it'll be Abshot again, cutting back into Penguin territory. Near side, Schreiber has it, shoots it right over the head of Frank Pietrangelo. Along the right wing boards, Penguin zone. Archibald flags it down with a glove. Put it in behind the Pittsburgh goal for Mark Abshot. Centers in front of, went right by a man. Here's a man open. Shot by Archibald, goes in. The North Stars have scored. Wally Schreiber deflected it, I believe, as he cut through the goal mouth. And the North Stars get a goal to make it 3-2. Well, the Penguins that time could not get the puck out, and Minnesota cashes in.
Well, both defensemen had their backs to the play, including Zarley Zalapsky. Bodger went behind the net. It was centered in front, and Zalapsky was looking at the net. He got turned around, and Bodger turned around at the last second to come out to see Archibald, but Archibald already had the puck in the slot and was eyeing that net, and he was able to get the shot away.
Yeah, I think it might have hit Schreiber's leg and bounced in. Not directed in, I'm not sure. Kind of a crazy play around the goal. Archibald just shot it.
It went off Bodger, who came out to try to block the shot.
Well, it hit Bodger, and I think it hit goaltender Pietrangelo, and then I think it hit Schreiber, who was in behind.
Like a pinball game down there.
So the North Stars make it 3-2.
And the main thing is Bodger and Zalapsky were both in front of the net, and they let one of the North Stars go behind the net.
Here's Lautenbach, Penguins in. Gancher pulls down one of the North Stars, and all of a sudden the momentum is going back to the North Stars. They've scored a goal to make it 3-2, and now they've got the power play coming up. Penguins by 1 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
The Donnelly Directory. It's a complete, colorful yellow pages that's better and easier to use. Won't he ever learn? Good thinking. The Donnelly Directory. It's a better Yellow Pages with community services, local zip codes, emergency numbers, and more. To the rescue. The Donnelly Directory. It's a better Yellow Pages and much, much more.
Well, Brian McClellan was going into that Pittsburgh zone, gave the puck to Lawton, who tried to go back to McClellan, and Gancher hauled McClellan down. Well, Schreiber's going to get the goal. It did go off of him, and Archibald getting an assist. Also Hapshot. He's the guy who centered it from behind the net on the goal.
So Minnesota now with its 5th power play opportunity. They're 0 for 4 in the afternoon, and they crank it up in their own end. 3-2 the score. The Penguins lead by 1. Out the left side, Brian Bellows works it deep into the Penguins end around the right wing board. Brian Lawton moves in. He's checked by Dave Hunter. Tapped in behind the net. Brian Bellows now skates over to the near corner of the Penguins end. He is hit by Jim Johnson. And back to the left point. It went beyond the reach of Mo Mantha. And Mantha backpedals to his own blue line. Inside his own stripe and passes ahead. It comes right back to him. And Mantha cuts up the left wing against Lemieux. Shoots it up and it hits Cicerelli and bounced up into the North Stars bench. And we're going to stop and play at center ice. New Jersey leads Philadelphia 6-4 now in the 3rd period at Philadelphia. Here we've got a 3-2 score. The Penguins lead, but the North Stars on a power play. Wally Schreiber, the goal scorer for the North Stars, his 3rd of the year in 5 games he's played with Minnesota.
He was the leading scorer, goal scoring wise, on the Canadian national team, the Olympic team, with 24 goals. And he was the International Hockey League scoring champ back in 84-85. So he's shown an ability to score goals, no matter what league he's in.
Yeah, every league he's ever played in, he's been able to score, and he's doing that right now. Here, now the North Stars forced to their own end. Frawley and Troy Loney, the penalty killers now for Pittsburgh. Up on the plate of the Penguins in. Bellows put it in front of deflection by Brook, and a big save there by Frank Pietrangelo. Right in front, still loose. And it's underneath the Penguin netminder. Pietrangelo able to hold it out as they push and shove in front of the Penguin goal. That was a big, big save by Pietrangelo there as the North Stars, Bob Brook, almost scored. And Brian McCullough now and Troy Loney have a hold of one another.
Well, Bob Brook has not scored since January 24th. And you've got to say he's due. He had a great chance there, and Pietrangelo just simply flopped to the ice, hoping to stop that puck somehow, keep it out of the net, and he was able to do it. Brook cutting to the net. Pietrangelo sprawled and made the save off his body, and then looked for that loose puck. It was underneath him, and then it wasn't underneath him, and Cicerelli came in whacking at it and almost had a chance. In fact, he did have a chance. He just didn't get it up enough, and Pietrangelo was able to cover it up.
Zalapski had tried to kick the puck under his goaltender after it squirted free, but it came off his body. See him kick at it, try to stuff it into his glove, and it came free. And that was when Dino followed on, and boy, goal scorers do that, boy. They look for any room and any chance they can get, and he almost came in and poked it in.
He was just traveling at too high a rate of speed. He just couldn't get enough on the puck. He just kind of waved at it and just got a little tiny piece of it to flip it up on edge, and then Pietrangelo was able to cover it up.
57 seconds to go on the Penguin penalty to Perry Ganchar. Face off in the left wing circle. The Penguins in to the right of Frank Pietrangelo. Lemieux against Cicerelli, and the Penguins come up with it. Zalapski spin it ahead to center to Bob Erie. Now, Erie and Lemieux work together in the penalty-killing team. Zalapski and Bodger will hold the back line. Here's a pass to Zalapski. Cuts into Minnesota ice. A rink-wide pass broken up, and here are the North Stars 3-on-1. Hamshine drop pass. Cicerelli in front of McClellan. Back in front of score. The North Stars Hamshine puts it in. As they broke in, they get a power play goal and a 3-on-1 break. And a nice little passing play with the North Stars, and they have tied the game.
Well, we've been very complimentary of Zarley Zalapski, but that was one time where he made a blatant mistake killing penalties. You don't want to make a pass across the offensive zone in a situation like that, and that's what he tried to do. They tried to get a little goal-hungry, shorthanded. Hapshide intercepted it, came back up ice in a tic-tac-toe play. Hapshide ends up getting the goal after McClellan laid a perfect pass on his stick in front of the net. So Hapshide started the play out of his own zone and finished it by putting the puck in the net to tie it 3-3. Zarley Zalapski stood there, and you can tell he was just saying to himself, I know I made a mistake. He stood there, and he yelled at himself first of all, and he knows that he should have just thrown that puck in deep behind the net and gotten out of there and gotten back to make sure that he killed the penalty instead of worrying about scoring goals.
So Hapshide gets his first goal in the Minnesota uniform, and there's a power play goal. The North Stars have tied the game at 3. 2 goals less than 2 minutes apart. The one by Schreiber and the other one by Mark Hapshide. And here we are in a brand new hockey game. Kurt Giles of Minnesota cruising back to center. Look out, a 3-on-2 develops. Hoppy trying to cut it off. He can't do it. Giles, they back off, and he has room, puts it in front, and right there was Gagne, but he couldn't get the stick down. Right point, it's all Minnesota at the moment. Rouse shoots it in off a blade, and it carries to the near corner. Billy Siren trying to clear the puck. Giles fires one, and Peter Angelo steps out with the right leg. But the North Stars, Mitch Messier, and they continue to really pressure the Penguins. Basil McRae behind the Penguin net. Siren trying to point down, put it in front, and nobody is there. And the Penguins work it back the other way. Lead pass to Cunnyworth, one-on-one. Against Rouse, comes down with a rich shot and a good save by Casey. And the Minnesota goaltender smothers that one. Oh, boy. It opens up. Here we go, end to end. Tied at 3 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Giant Eagle always says the shopper pays for double coupons. Well, I'm a shopper, and I say let's go to the source. The manufacturer will pay the face value of this coupon no matter where you take it. However, with double coupons, the store will pay the rest and make up for it by keeping prices high. So that means that double coupons are really paid for by Rose Richards.
Giant Eagle, if you're not paying the absolute minimum price, you're paying too much.
Well, Basil McRae's a big, strong boy. He was behind the net. Billy Siren doing all he could do to try to keep him from making the play, and still was able to pull the puck on the backhand from behind the net, shove it back out in front of the forehand, but nobody was home to tap it past Frank Pietrangelo.
And the North Stars again drill it deep into Penguin ice. And Minnesota called for icing. We'll pause for station identification right here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
WPGH TV 53, Pittsburgh.
New Jersey wins at Philadelphia 6-5, so the Devils now in 4th place in the Patrick Division at the moment. Their record 31-35-5 with 67 points. The Rangers in 5th with 66, and the Penguins are last with 65. They need a win to keep pace with the Devils this afternoon. And they're tied at 3. Frantisek Musil beat it around to the near boards. Wally Schreiber of Minnesota. And you can bet your life a lot of folks will be watching this one now the rest of the way. Following the Devils and the Rangers. On the dish on the TV side, and is picked up now by Jim Johnson in a 3-3 matchup with 6:38 to go in the period. Jimmy Johnson cruising to the Minnesota line, an offside call. Robbie Brown and Pat Micheletti get the gloves up into one another. Then they might sit down. Ron Hogarth, the referee, I think will send both Micheletti and Rob Brown off. Frantisek Musil and Jim. Is it Dan Frawley involved? No, it's Kevin Stevens. And now Dave Archibald takes a hold of Kevin Stevens. Well, Micheletti and Brown have to sit down.
Stevens standing right in there pretty good, pushing everybody aside. Frantisek Musil standing in there too, and now they're talking to one another. I don't know if Kevin can understand him or not. Talking in Czechoslovakian probably.
No, it doesn't matter. It's pretty universal. Gord Dineen and Rod Buskas push and shove. This one's got the makings of maybe breaking out here. You got to be careful. Hogarth trying to split people apart. As the tempers heat up. Now Hogarth telling people, get over to the penalty box. Get away if I get out of here. Now we've got a fight breaking out here. It's Rod Buskas involved with Gord Dineen. Buskas with a left hand coming in. This is a pretty good matchup. Dineen comes with a left. Oh, that's a good goal. Buskas and Dineen both throwing lefts. Rod Buskas of the Penguins. One of the tougher customers the Pens have, and Gord Dineen, and now Buskas trying to get himself free in a position to get his hands free and start firing again, or either put him to the ice. Well, they both got a lot of shots in them, left-handed style.
I think Buskas got
they might be gone out of this game too, Paul.
Yeah, I think so. Buskas got him on the helmet a couple of times, really couldn't connect with him.
Oh, Buskas with a solid left that time got it in, and the linesmen are going to step in and pry them apart. Kevin Stevens had already gone to the penalty box with Musil, and now Rod Buskas. Both guys, Dineen and Buskas, getting some shots in. We'll be back in a moment, tied at 3, right here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
What do you think of the Ford Festiva? It's big.
Small.
Nah, it's big. Sort of a big smallness.
Festiva gives you features like a roomy interior, 660 powertrain warranty, sometimes even your own parking space. So it's big and small.
How about Festiva's price? It's small. It's nothing. Smallness.
Ford Festiva. Call it big, call it small. Call it yours for only $54.90.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
This period has been brought to you by your world-class Pittsburgh Metro Ford dealers.
Well, the penalties will be announced momentarily. Buskus and Dineen will get 5 for fighting each, and misconducts, not game misconducts. And that's at the discretion, I think, of the referee. He can give a game misconduct if he told him to break it up, but he gives him a misconduct, allows him to stay in the game in the third period. And Robbie Brown and Micheletti both get minor penalties. I don't know what those were for. Stevens and Musil on sportsmanlike conduct minors. 13:25, the time of all the penalties. They'll all be evened up.
Well, the North Stars are back in this game, mentally, physically, and on the scoreboard. I mean, things were going along kind of quietly there for a while, but when they got back and made it 3-2, that got them, that kind of woke them up a little bit. And right now, they seem to be very much involved in this game, and they want to win it. They've come to play here today, no doubt about it.
Like conduct. On the Penguins, number 44, Rob Brown, a minor penalty for roughing. On the Penguins, number 7, Rod Buskus, a major penalty for fighting and a 10-minute misconduct penalty. On the Minnesota North Stars, number 6, Freda Musil, a minor penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. On the North Stars, number 26, Pat Micheletti, a minor penalty for roughing. On the North Stars, number 28, Gord Dineen, 5 minutes for fighting and a 10-minute misconduct penalty.
Well, the only ones we didn't give you, Micheletti and Brown, they pick up minor penalties for roughing. Recapping, Dineen, 5 for fighting, a misconduct penalty to the Stars defenseman. Buskus, 5 for fighting, a misconduct penalty. Stevens, 2 for unsportsmanlike conduct, and František Musil, 2 for unsportsmanlike conduct. Well, Brian Erickson was just hit along the boards as we go back to play, and he had to be helped off to the Penguin bench. Barry Ganchar comes out to play on the right wing with Lemieux and Bob Erie on the left side. And here are the North Stars cruising back. McClellan coming to the Penguins in. Brian McClellan trying to cut across. Yes, does with a nice move and put a backhander on that'll miss the goal. McClellan showing a good effort there to get across and get the shot towards the net. Shots are now 17-15 in favor of the Penguins here in this game. We're tied at 3. Ryan Lott of Minnesota, whack it off the boards, comes weirdly off the skates. Goes into Pietrangelo, put back in front. Did it go in or not? Pietrangelo stopped that puck. Oh, hallelujah, Hollywood. Frankie played it away from the net, then just got back in to get a piece of that play around the goal. The North Stars kept off the board.
Well, I don't think Frank thought that puck was going to be up for grabs as quickly as it was either. He kind of just lollygagged back to the crease and then suddenly realized that one of the North Stars was going to jump on that puck first, but it took a strange hop.
That was McClellan who got the shot on.
Yep.
When McClellan has thought he had a couple of goals against Frank Pietrangelo here in this period. It was just set up by a weird bounce off the boards, and Frank just got the skate on it, and the North Stars came cruising in.
Well, we've seen that enough, haven't we, against the Penguins this year? Strange hops like that have resulted in goals, but the Pens got a break that time. Pietrangelo scrambling back to make sure that puck didn't go in, and it almost did get underneath him, but he squeezed it between the pads.
5:56 left in the second period. And the Minnesota North Stars and Pittsburgh Penguins are tied at 3. And back to play. Here's Lemieux breaking out of his own end after the faceoff. Lemieux going to the Minnesota line. Drop pass for Ganchar. Instead picked up by Zalapsky. Oh, what a shot he put on, but the save was made by John Casey. Zalapsky really a blistering slap shot there. Back in the Stars, counterattacking. Cicerelli cuts across the ice. He goes right side, got a man roused. His slap shot, the save made. Mantha left point, head down. He drills one. Hit Bob Erie and hurt the Penguin winger. Mantha fires it back on, and it's stopped by Pietrangelo right in front. And Frank again holds long enough for a faceoff. The North Stars, Bob Erie took that shot from Mo Mantha on the leg, and he has been stunned a bit. He is hurt. He'll kind of half-heartedly come off the ice. It appeared to be his right ankle, the right leg. Well, he'll sit down, and the Penguins will make a change here. They just lost Brian Erickson moments ago, and now Bob Erie comes off.
Mo Mantha picked up that loose puck top of the circle. Good wrist shot by Mo Mantha. That's his strength, and he gets it away quickly. And that time throwing it to the net, and Pietrangelo had to be alert to make the save.
Poppy and the Penguins in. The Penguins had a 3-1 lead in this hockey game. They had a 2-0 lead at St. Louis the other night. They're watching leads evaporate in a hurry here in the last 2 games. And you're going to get a playoff spot, boy. You keep giving up leads like that. It's going to be a long haul to even think about it. Because when you get that lead, you've got to start burying people. And the Penguins right now matched up tied at 3. And the Pens are guilty of an icing play. And their level of intensity has really gone down here in the second period after battling back in the first. I don't know the answer, trying to find the combination. It's not easy. Sandy Epstein wanted to say hello to folks back in Pittsburgh, along with Bill Hayes and John Griffin. Friends and family back in Evans City. Here to see this one. And they watched a pretty good hockey game. Tied at 3. Right point of the Penguins in. It'll be picked up by Railson. Hard slap shot. Little missed the goal. Played up in the air and knocked out of the atmosphere by Jim Johnson's glove and directed to Cunneyworth, and an illegal hand pass called here. Well, the Penguins watched the Stars score the first goal. Dave Gagne, and then Bodger and Hunter connected to give the Penguins a 2-1 lead at the end of one. They scored early in the second on Robbie Brown's 18th of the year. But Wally Schreiber and Mark Habshy scoring a minute and 40 seconds apart in the second. And Minnesota back even.
Well, the North Stars have now outshot the Penguins 19-18, and in fact, they've outshot their opponents in the last 2 games 67-52. So they're getting their offensive chances, but they just haven't been able to put the puck in the net. But it's tied right now at 3.
Penguins again move to center after the draw, and they whip it back into the North Star zone. Casey, the Minnesota goaltender, waited around to Brian Bellows. He'll set up shot behind his own net. Doesn't have much time. Worked it off the boards, but not out. Kept in by Dan Quinn of Pittsburgh. He'll toss it in behind the Minnesota goal. After it'll be Dan Frawley. Frawley and Cunneyworth doing the work here up front, trying to dig that puck free from Mo Mantha. They turn Mantha around. Mantha trying to cover up, can't do it. Cunneyworth has it, steps out, he shoots it. It was blocked and deflected right into the goal. And John Casey with that left paw again has it long enough for a face-off in Minnesota ice.
Good work by Frawley and Cunneyworth to keep play alive and to try to pry that puck loose from Mo Mantha along the backboards, and Cunneyworth able to come up with it, but when he walked out in front, he just didn't seem to have enough authority on the shot to get it to the net.
We'll be on the air with you on the Penguin Radio Network tomorrow, only on radio, beginning at 3:30 Pittsburgh time. 3:30 or 3:20 actually, with a pregame show. You need a pregame show? Call Steigerwald. He'll be there. We've got some intermissions coming up, and if you need an intermission, you call Steigerwald. He'll be along. 4 minutes and 23 seconds. Robbie Brown joined with Kevin Stevens now working the right wing, and Dave Hunter on the left side for Pittsburgh. And the Penguins and the Stars in, trying to shoot it to the net. It was deflected. Hops back to center and corralled by Jim Johnson. Johnson looking for Paul Coffey. Coffey now has possession. He'll skate quickly to the Minnesota line. They have to give him room with the speed he has, and they do. He cuts down the right side. He'll make a move. Drop it back. Nice pass. Jimmy Johnson's wide open. His shot deflected on the way in. Johnson's got it again. He drives it right on. And Casey made a good save on Jimmy Johnson. Now around to the near board. The Stars clear ahead. Here's a lead pass and a breakaway for Gagne. Hunter chases. Gagne cuts for the net. He shoots. And a great save by Peter Angelo off his right leg. Centered by Gagne. Here is Robbie Brown going for it, but he can't get to it. And Bob Rouse cut it up. What a big save by Peter Angelo on Dave Gagne in a breakaway attempt. That's a major league save by Peter Angelo because he got his right leg out and kicked it away at the very last second. In Minnesota ice in a 3-3 tie. Brian Lawton cleared it back to center. It goes into the Penguin zone. Zalapski had it, but he gave it away. McCown shoots. That hits Zalapski. The rebound back in front off Zalapski. And we've got penalties coming up here. Doug Bodger and Basil McRae are both going to be sent off. So we've got 3:16 to go now here in the second period. And what a big save by Peter Angelo as the North Stars threaten to take the lead for the first time today.
Well, Coffey and Jimmy Johnson were trapped on the right wing boards. They were in deep, and that meant that Gagne could go in, and the only guy back was Dave Hunter. He tried to catch him, and he just got a stick in him to slow him down enough, and he was able to move that puck to the forehand, and Peter Angelo scrambled to his right and got the right pad on that shot by Gagne, who did not lift the puck far enough to get a goal. He just tried to wrap it around Peter Angelo. Johnson had 2 whacks at that puck earlier. He teed one up that came through traffic, and a great toe save by Casey on that one on a screenshot.
Both goaltenders really coming up sharp.
Penguins really pouring it on and putting that pressure on in the North Star zone and maybe leaving their end a little bit more vulnerable, and that gave them a chance to break up ice on the breakaway, and a great save by Peter Angelo.
Number 3, Doug Bodger, minor penalty for high sticking. On the North Stars, number 17, Basil McRae, a minor penalty for slashing. Time of the penalties, 16:44.
Well, the minor penalties to Bodger and McRae issued here. We've got a face-off coming up in the Penguins' end to the right of Frank Pietrangelo, the Penguin goaltender.
Well, Herbie Brooks knew that his team played too much of a wide-open style against Pittsburgh on March 1st, and he told me before the game he'd like to see them play more of the kind of game they played in the 1-0 loss to the Penguins when Peter Angelo shut them out. And they are playing a little more disciplined game here today, and they're right in at 3-3.
Volapsky handling the puck after the face-off. Now giving it to Bob Erie, who cuts the off wing, and he is hit solidly on a check by Kurt Giles. And they're both going to go off here. Giles and Erie, and they get the stick into one another. Bob Erie of Pittsburgh and Kurt Giles, they whacked each other once. They might get double minors here. They get the sticks up into one another originally. And I think Ron Hogarth's going to send both men off, possibly on double minors for high sticking. 17:03, the time of the minors. As we said, the North Stars still within a range of a playoff spot, just 5 behind the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now you see the check, and then Bob Erie coming back, and Giles sticked him, and they came right back at one another.
I think Erie was upset that Giles made it come in with that elbow a little high. He had that right elbow up a little bit as he came after Erie along the boards.
Well, they'll just be minor penalties because I think they could send them off here off the ice on double minors with 2:57 left. Another face-off to the left of the Minnesota goal. This is going to be a long hockey game, boy. We're approaching 2 hours here for 2 periods.
Penalty for slashing. Time of the penalties, 17:03.
Erie gets 2 for high sticking, and Giles 2 for slashing. 17:03 the time. And now here's Lemieux out with another new line here with Lemieux, Kevin Stevens on the left wing, and the right winger will be Robbie Brown. Jimmy Johnson and Paul Coffey on the backside against Brian Lawton's trio.
Mario's due. He's got 1 goal in his last 3 games.
The North Stars with Lawton on the ice. Richard Zemlak, and he takes a whack at Kevin Stevens and Brian McClellan. Now Zemlak cruising back up, almost lost it to Lemieux. Zemlak, though, who has 1 goal in 44 games, almost 300 minutes in penalty time. Mann and Zemlak, and they're going to go. This man came out, Zemlak, and they're just going to go. That's it. They're waiting to go. And they throw a few punches. They're alive along the far side. Jimmy Mann, I think that might be his second shift of the night or afternoon. And Zemlak, they're into the Minnesota bench now. Well, they were looking for one another. Man, get on that right wing. Didn't the Penguins have Stevens on the right side? They started. Mann must have just come on. I'll tell you what happened. Zemlak took a shot at Kevin Stevens. That's what, well, he is still out there from behind. And I'm not sure if Mann was out there or not. I might have called it wrong in the original setup. Looked to me as though they're still going at it here. Richard Zemlak and Jimmy Mann, the linesman trying to pry them apart.
Oh, Mann had him bent right over the boards and into that Minnesota bench.
17-17, the time of the penalties. And they'll both go to the locker room. Or will they? Zemlak's headed to the penalty box, but I think might turn him around.
Zemlak upset too. He yelled about something that one of the linesmen said to him, or the referee Hogarth said something to him that he didn't agree with. Apparently he's going off for the day.
Well, we've got a 3-3 hockey game still here at the Met Center in Minnesota. Well, a lot of penalty time issued here in this, the second period.
It's been kind of a chippy hockey game, particularly here in the second period. A lot of stick work. Really, the 2 heavyweights after each other.
We've got 5 minutes each. We're fighting. I've got Jimmy Mann, a 2-minute unsportsmanlike conduct, pulling hair. Just unsportsmanlike conduct, isn't it out? Pulling hair, Mario.
They're going to get 5 each for fighting, and Jimmy Mann for pulling the hair of Richard Zemlak gets 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Thought I saw him do that in the bench.
So now, by sending Mann out, the Penguins are shorthanded at the moment in a 3-3 hockey game. Now he's picked up the extra minor penalty, and the Penguins will be shorthanded. The North Stars will get a power play chance, and they'll send out Brian Lawton, Brian McClellan, Brian Bellows, and Mo Mantha will take one of the points.
Penguins have been killing penalties a lot here in the second period.
You know, that's interesting, and I'm glad we were able to pick up Ron Hogarth, because the average fan would have no idea what that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty was for. And fortunately, we got the word from Hogarth that was for pulling hair. I guess you can conjecture and try and figure out, but that certainly does help. We appreciate that. The folks here doing a nice job of picking up the calls from Ron Hogarth, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So now Pittsburgh shorthanded, and Mario Lemieux joined by Dave Hunter up front. Robbie Brown in the penalty box. Lemieux comes up with the puck, carries it back to center, works his way to the Minnesota end against Mantha, drop it over to Coffey, look out, his slip shot, and he missed. On the rebound, Hunter goes in too deep, he couldn't knock it into the net. And Brian Bellows of Minnesota, the Penguins almost scoring shorthanded. Bellows rambles back to the Penguin line, and he'll shoot it back to the left wing corner. Bellows hooked from behind by Jim Johnson. Slowed it up, but Ciccarelli has control of the biscuit. Ciccarelli of Minnesota in the Penguins left wing corner. Back to the left point to Mo Mantha. Back to Dino up high off his chest. He'll knock it down. Settle it. Comes in. Wristing one, and a good shot and a better save by Peter Angelo. Lemieux has the rebound, and he bangs it by Brian Lawton of Minnesota. Deep up ice. The North Stars have a power play goal in this game. Mark Habscheid connected to 12:03 of the second period. 3-3 tie. Now in the left wing to the Penguins end. Ciccarelli goes down to Bellows. Wristing one, and a stick save made by Peter Angelo. Along the left wing corner in Pittsburgh territory. Kolapski trying to move it out. Can't. Mantha shoots it in front. Knocked away at the last second by Coffey. Ciccarelli trying to take that puck and tee it up. And Troy Loney giving the puck to Mario Lemieux. Lemieux comes in. Looks back for Loney. And they're letting Lemieux play the entire penalty killing unit as one man. And then bringing somebody on to play with him all the time. That apparently is what they'll do. So Lemieux will get some extra added ice time. Here's Ciccarelli going to Lawton. Lawton back to Ciccarelli. Right side man open. Archibald. And he slaps one wide of the goal. Picked up by Frawley of Pittsburgh, and he works it up ice. Now Frawley has replaced Lemieux. Loney's going to come off. And Quinn and Frawley will be the penalty killers. Radisek Musil with 20 seconds to go in the penalty. 1:04 to go in the period. Kicked in behind the Penguin net. And now to the left of the goal, it will be Frank Pietrangelo coming up with it. Now Radisek Musil corrals Jimmy Johnson. Settle down, gentlemen. Got a long way to go in this game. 58 seconds to go. We're going to jam the penalty box a little more. $15 seconds to go on the minor penalty to Jimmy Mann. And Jim Johnson. And it's going to be Dave Archibald going on. Radisek Musil and Jimmy Johnson involved originally. Musil had lost his stick. Archibald is going to be up the man with a penalty, however. Archibald and Jimmy Johnson pushed and shoved, and then Musil came in and grabbed Jimmy Johnson from behind. And the penalties issued at 19:02. And Johnson and Archibald go to the locker room. A lot of guys in there sitting around. We get back to play. The faceoff will be in the Penguin zone, and it will be to the left of goaltender Frank Pietrangelo. Alan and Susan Generati. I want to say hello to folks back home, and also Jeff and Janet Wheeler in Hastings, Minnesota here now. They've got friends and family back in Butler. And we're going to get back to some hockey here momentarily. New Jersey has already beaten Philadelphia 6-5 this afternoon, and the Devils move into fourth place at the moment in the Patrick division. Remember, only 4 of the 6 teams will gather playoff spots, and it's going to be a 3-way battle, it appears, between the Penguins, the Rangers, and the Devils, right down to the very end to decide who will get that playoff spot. Of course, the Devils not made the playoffs since they've been in New Jersey. The Penguins have gone 5 years without making it. The Rangers have been able to get that 4th spot on a kind of a continual basis. Late in the season, they've been a pretty strong team down the stretch, whereas New Jersey and Pittsburgh have been on the fading end of it. But the Devils are playing good hockey right now, and they've come on very strong. And the reason that game is so important to them today, they have so few games left. The Pens have some games in hand, but they're making up for it. They're winning big games. Boy, they won in Boston last week. They win in Philadelphia this afternoon. And that's how you get to the playoffs, boy, winning those big games against strong teams.
On the North Stars, number 6, Brandon Musil. And on the North Stars, number 37, Dave Archibald. Minor penalties each for roughing.
Well, the North Stars end up with a shorthanded situation to even things up as Musil picks up a minor penalty. So now in 3 seconds, the Penguins are on the power play. Here's Coffey cutting back to the Minnesota line, but the Penguins are offside. 1 second left on the man penalty, and Robbie Brown will come on the ice. And then the Penguins have a power play the rest of the period. So Musil gets an extra 2 minutes for roughing. I think that was originally going to be announced, but it was. So Musil and Archibald minor penalties, and Jim Johnson for the Penguins. Lemieux has Cunneyworth on the left wing. I think Robbie Brown might well come on the ice and just move right into the power play. Zalapsky and Coffey will be the point men. Tied at 3. Face-off Gagne. He's played a strong game for Minnesota. Brown is on, and he steps right into the power play. He'll play the left wing at the moment. Locked it back into the Minnesota end. This might be an icing call against the Penguins. And that it is. Penguins couldn't connect on a lead pass, and they're called for icing. And that hurts with 33 seconds to go in the period. Penguins with games left on the schedule. They've got Winnipeg tomorrow, then Toronto midweek, Philadelphia at home next weekend, then away against Philadelphia, Washington and Montreal at home, away in Quebec and New Jersey at the Civic Arena, at Washington their final road game the last weekend of the season, and at home to close it out against the Hartford Whalers. Here's a face-off in the Penguin zone, and Mario Lemieux has the puck. Played up to Zali Zalapsky. Zalapsky looks over the seam and shoots it towards the net. Knocked aside by goaltender John Casey away from the goal. The North Stars whack it out of midair. All the way to the Penguin zone. Coffey returning. He'll take command of it with 15 seconds to go in the period. Laid it up to Cunneyworth. Cunneyworth steps into Minnesota ice. He'll move across on the left wing side. Lost possession of the North Stars. Will kill the clock in the period. They'll come out of it with a big come from behind period for the North Stars as the siren sounds here. And now the tempers heat up again to end the period. Cunneyworth involved with one of the North Stars in the corner. Well, they've been poking away at each other all afternoon. I wouldn't think the third period will be any different. As Dave Gagne and Randy Cunneyworth have words. We have played 2 here at the Met Center in Bloomington. The scoreboard reads the Penguins 3 and the North Stars 3 on the Penguins.
Minnesota's picked 15th overall and grabbed this guy, Bob Airy. And Bobby, you missed 62 games this year with that hand injury or wrist injury. I know it was kind of a freaky injury and a very disappointing one for you because you were the Penguins' leading scorer in training camp. But if you could, talk about the injury and how it feels right now.
Well, it was, I just followed through on a shot and wasn't able to brace myself for a check, and the wrist snapped back and broke a little bone in the wrist area. It just happens to be a bone that no blood gets to, and you know, it was a long 4.5 months, and I tried to keep my mind mentally into it. Physically, you can only do so much. I tried to skate out there and work hard on it, but the injury's come along, and I think it's healed now, and it's just a matter of getting my timing back and some of my wheels back.
I know it had to be kind of flattering to you, I would think, to have been able to start on a line with Mario Lemieux in your very first game back. I think some people raised some eyebrows there that how could the Penguins do that, and a guy that hadn't played in 62 games, but usually the adrenaline's going pretty good in that first game.
Yeah, I think you know, I think it worked before, and it's a combination where it's going to help the team. You know, we can balance out some other lines, put Cunny over with Quinner and Huntz with Stevie Gattis or whoever, but I think it balances out the lines a little bit, and I work deep and help Mario out, and I can get into the play, and I just do more of a defensive role on an offensive line, if you may, and you know, it seems to be working pretty well. Our line's been plus, and the bottom line is winning. I don't care if you know, I could score another goal from now to the end of the season. I just want to get into the playoffs.
Bob, this game here today got pretty chippy there in the second period. You've been faced with having to kill penalties a lot here again today. You're going to see in a spot role right now in the penalty killing. Mario Lemieux has been moved up to that #1 spot on that left side. But talk about the kind of balance between thinking offensively at times when you're killing penalties and also realizing that you're out there to stop the other team from scoring. It seems like the Penguins are having a little bit of problem adjusting to that frame of mind, if you will.
Yeah, I think it's I think that's the main concern, especially with our team. I don't know, we might be looking for a few too many goals, but the key is just to get it out of our end and try to keep some pressure on them. The first thing is you want to win the draw and maybe kill about 20 seconds of the penalty. And if you can rag it a bit in the center zone and without risking turning the puck over and you just want to get it in deep and rag some time and force them to do things that they have set plays out there, and you want to force them to do something that they don't have set.
Of course, they often will go down the boards if you put pressure on the point man, and I guess a big thing there is to have that ability to go over to the boards and get the loose pucks and beat the defenseman to the puck.
That's the thing, the defensemen are going to get the puck low, and if you're over at the boards when the puck's coming around, you just want to take the defenseman out. You don't even want to look and consider the puck. If you can take the defenseman out, take his stick, he's not going to be able to keep the puck in, and that's what you want.
What do you look for in the third?
I think it's going to be chippy all the way. I think it's going to be a one-goal game, as are many of them this year. And, you can't look past this Minnesota North Star team. You can't look past any team in this league. If we do that, then, we're going to have our work cut out for us.
Okay, good luck in the third, Bob.
Thanks very much, Paul.
Bob Area of the Penguins has been our guest, and we'll return to the Met Center in just a moment here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
We want to see your eyes when you see our shrimp.
At Long John Silver's, we want to see you sink your teeth into our big, juicy butterfly shrimp. And right now, you can get these golden beauties in 4 great meals for only $3.99 each. Like our 6-piece shrimp dinner and our shrimp and fish dinner.
You see, we want to make sure we're going to see you back.
Long John Silver's.
Shrimp meals, $3.99 each.
We want to see you happy.
Lunch? I grabbed a pizza.
Lunch?
I grabbed a burger.
The American Dietetic Association says vegetables are an important part of a balanced diet.
Lunch?
I grabbed a hot dog.
No vegetables? Have a V8.
When you can't get to eat vegetables, you can drink them. One delicious glass of V8 juice provides a serving of vegetables.
Thanks for putting me straight, Laura.
Drink V8. Keep your diet straight. Now available in 32-ounce glass.
At Calusi Chevrolet, you can count on a sales staff that takes time to understand your needs. Chevrolet Caprice, for example. Caprice is one of the last full-size family cars and features roomy seats and plenty of trunk space. Or consider the aerodynamic design of the IROC. IROC combines the features of a world-class sports car with an affordable price. And, of course, Chevy Blazer. This rugged four-wheel drive workhorse answers the practical needs of a family and the rugged needs of a sportsman. No matter what your needs, you can count on a friend. Calusi Chevrolet.
Now, evenings are twice as nice when WPGH doubles your fun with the Facts of Life at 6:30 and 7:30.
This is fantastic.
You've loved Family Ties and Facts of Life at 6 and 6:30.
Wait, it gets better.
Now there's twice the laughs with Family Ties and Facts of Life at 7 and 7:30.
I think they like us.
Watch 2 hours of non-stop ties and facts fun when Facts of Life comes to 7:30 starting March 21st on WPGH TV 53.
Here at the Met Center, the Penguins and the North Stars are tied at 3 as we await the club's arrival for the third period of play. But right now, we hope we have given you some very valuable pointers as to what the infraction of icing is all about this year. And as we promised, we're going to test you now and see what you remember. So here we go.
Is this icing? Yes, because the puck was shot from behind the center red line and crossed the defending team's red goal line before a defending player could touch it. How about this? Yes, because even though the puck crossed the goalie's crease, it did so after it had crossed the goal line. In other words, it crossed the goal line, hit the backboards, then crossed the goalie's crease, so it is icing. How about this? No, because when the linesman rules that the defending player could have played the puck, he'll wave it off or extend his arm straight out from his body. And our last one? Well, this is a little unfair. No icing because the team is playing shorthanded due to a penalty. Count the players. Remember, the defending team can clear the puck up ice when they're shorthanded. How did you do? Well, we hope you learned what icing is and what it's all about. In our next telecast, we'll find out about offsides and the offside or two-line pass.
Okay, Alex will now do his famous dog impersonations. Grab a strobe light, relax. Ready, Alex? All right, who's this?
Rin Tin Tin.
Look at this.
Look at this. Tramp, my 3 sons.
Right. This is my favorite.
Benji.
Oh, I don't know how he does it.
It's amazing.
Stro Light, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
No, here he comes. Here he comes. Who's that supposed to be?
Beats me.
If you're afraid to cook fish, maybe you've been missing an important ingredient, the Giant Eagle Foolproof Fish Guarantee. Our guarantee assures you that your fish dinners will turn out great. Just follow the easy-to-prepare, foolproof recipe we provide with your fish. And if the meal doesn't turn out the way you'd like, we'll replace the fish absolutely free. The Giant Eagle Foolproof Fish Guarantee. It's the ingredient you can only find at Giant Eagle.
To get a loan in our day, you had to be King of England.
So we used to arrange financing for people, so to speak.
If only we'd had Equibank.
Yes, the straight talk bank would have kept us straight as an arrow.
You see, Equibank got to be big and strong by treating ordinary people like royalty.
Friends, to get money.
Without having to run around the forest in little green tights.
Go to Equibank.
They could have kept Robin from becoming a hood.
The first time I see a prospective customer, I ask them to write down the name of their long-distance company's sales rep. Most of them can't. Then they realize they've never met one. Now, I can go on about MCI's superior technology and quality and how much better our billing system is. But in my view, none of that means beans if we don't care enough to sit down with you and show you.
Until you call, you'll never know how much better a long-distance company can be. MCI. Let us show you.
Well, it's a night to honor the star of stars as Eaton Park presents Mario Lemieux All-Star Poster Night on Wednesday, March 16th, when the Penguins play the Toronto Maple Leafs. All fans will receive a full-color poster of Mario straight from his MVP performance in the All-Star Game, compliments of Eaton Park. And fans get an extra bonus of receiving a beautiful rose. That is a beautiful rose, as you would in a flower, that night, courtesy of FTD. That's Wednesday, March 16th, when Eaton Park presents Mario Lemieux All-Star Poster Night. We'll be back to take a look at the scoring in the second period, how it happened. We're tied at 3 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
We interrupt this commercial to bring you a special McDonald's broadcast. Right now at McDonald's, for just 99 cents, you can get any breakfast sandwich. I repeat, any of 4 great-tasting breakfast sandwiches for 99 cents. Wait, the latest just in. Now you can also get a Filet-O-Fish sandwich for just 99 cents. Hurry to McDonald's and get any Filet-O-Fish or breakfast sandwich for just 99 cents. This concludes McDonald's special broadcast.
How fast is the new Isuzu Impulse Turbo? How does 950 miles per hour sound? The Impulse Turbo. Faster than a speeding... Well, you know.
Get a great deal at your local Isuzu dealer. Bullet not included.
Everyone's raving about Good Morning Vietnam.
Couldn't stop laughing.
Easy, girl. The Today Show calls it touching and wildly funny.
I want to see it again and again.
And Siskel and Ebert give it 2 thumbs up. Robin Williams, Good Morning Vietnam, rated R, now playing at a theater near you. Also from Touchstone Pictures, a vicious killer, a beautiful hostage, an FBI expert. It's the very best against the very worst, and only one will survive. Sidney Poitier, Tom Berenger, Kirstie Alley, Shoot to Kill, rated R.
Now showing at a theater near you. Check newspaper.
Well, the Penguins took a 3-1 lead in the second period as Dave Hunter helped set up Robbie Brown. Brown cut it across the slot with a nice move and fired it on the stick-hand side by goaltender John Casey, and the Penguins led at that point 3-1. But Minnesota bounced back, and they scored the next 2 goals.
Yep, Schreiber got one, his 3rd of the year, on a play. Archibald getting it in front and just shooting that puck to the net, and it hit about 3 different things on the way in. Doug Bodger came out to block the shot. It got a piece of him, hit Peter Angelo, and then Schreiber was able to direct it into the net. He was behind Peter Angelo, and Peter Angelo thought that he was in the crease, and Zarley Zalapski had put him in there, or at least kept him from getting out of the crease, where he was able to score the goal. And besides, he got to the puck, touched it, and got the goal. Zarley Zalapski tried to make a play across the offensive zone. A mistake there as the Penguins were killing a penalty, and Habscheid broke up ice, dropped it off, and McClellan gave it back to Habscheid as he went to the net, and he put it in. And it was Cicerelli who made the pass, the first pass.
Cicerelli made a nice play, too,
yeah, he did.
To stay onside. He waited for the play to develop, stayed onside, didn't let him go off, then moved in and made that play across, and a top-rate play by Dino Cicerelli. And, of course, Habscheid finishing the play set up by Brian McClellan. So we've got a 3-3 tie. You look at the game as it is right now, going to the final period. You got to think goaltending might be the difference in the game here. We go to the third.
Peter Angelo came up pretty tough, too, in the second half of that third period. After the North Stars got the goal to make it 3-2, they really started to pour it on, and Peter Angelo had to make some big saves. He stopped Gagne in a breakaway, made a couple of saves and some bang-bang plays in front. Brian Bellows with a good wrist shot in the slot, and Peter Angelo made a save on him. Hogarth has had his hands full today with the chippiness of that second period, and then Bob Airy, as he was walking out the doors, just said, well, here we go. He has a feeling it's going to be more of that in the third, but sometimes teams have a tendency to settle down once they go to the locker room and they come out and just play some hockey. You may see a good up and down game here in the third period.
Penguins start with a power play for 1 minute and 2 seconds and a minor penalty to František Musil. Well, they'd love to score here in the early going to take the lead again.
Clifford Grogan of Pittsburgh is our contestant on the Stroh's power play contest. And our Giant Eagle goal-getter contestant is Catherine Northey of Coriopolis, and Billy Searin is her goal-getter. $500 worth of groceries on the line.
Here go the Penguins now with Rob Brown, Mario Lemieux, and Dan Quinn on the power play. Coffey steers it over to Bodger. Penguins moving right to left, break into the Minnesota end. Lemieux trying to give it to Bodger. It comes free to Coffey. He's there. His shot, and Casey the save, the rebound. Brown has it. He keeps it alive. He's around the net. Look at him work with it, and he shoots it just wide of the cave. Now Coffey. Whack it down the boards into the near corner. Bob Rouse trying to clear, and does. Penguins 1 for 5 on the power play. This is their 6th chance. The North Stars are 1 for 6. Half a minute to go. Got to hurry it up. Brown. Lemieux waves a stick at him. He doesn't give it to him. Quinn has the puck. Try to go cross rink. Does into the corner for Lemieux. Mario behind the net going to Rob Brown. Brown falls down, but he directs it over to Bodger of Pittsburgh. Back to Robbie Brown. Lemieux's open left wing circle. Quinn takes the pass behind the net for the Penguins. Now to Lemieux. Mario Lemieux working with it. Left wing circle. He's going to fake a shot. Move it over to Coffey. He's there. His shot. The save made. And Casey holds it. There's no rebound at all. John Casey had a strap come loose. And he'll work on that now as he takes the gloves off in a hurry. Well, the Penguins down to 6 seconds to go on the penalty. And they'll make a change now. Bob Airy and Randy Cunnyworth come on, and Dan Quinn and Robbie Brown will sit down.
Well, Cunnyworth, you may remember in that game against the Islanders, really helped out the Penguins on one power play when he stood in front of the net and got into a battle with Dennis Potvin. And he has a tendency to go to the net and cause some havoc, and so does Bob Airy for that matter. I think the Penguins needed that in that last little sequence there. They just weren't getting any action in front of John Casey, and when Coffey took the puck and took the shot at the center point, Casey could see the shot all the way.
Habscheid and Lemieux will square off here. Dino Cicerelli comes over for the North Stars to say something to Habscheid. There to the right of goaltender John Casey. And the North Stars win the faceoff. Oh, man, they can't clear, though. Comes free to Habscheid, and he'll blast it away. And the penalty ends. There is no icing on the call. And back to play the puck will be Doug Bodger. So the Penguins are 1 for 6 on the power play. They failed to score early in the third. Cunnyworth moving up. Checked on the play. Airy, though, taps it over to Zarley Zalapski. Zalapski will rifle off the boards. Back around to the North Stars left wing side. Airy comes up with it. Lemieux's behind the net. Tries to get it to Mario. He can't reach in with that long reach that he has. And Mo Mantha spins it ahead back off the left wing boards inside the Penguin line. Zalapski has to hurry. He's pulled down by McClellan. Goes off his skates. The North Stars set it up. Look out here. Billy Searin, though. Stop the play in the slot. Erie now ahead for Lemieux. There we go, cruising to the North Stars end. Wheel and deal. Lost it to František Musil. Musil in return. Toss it right back up to Billy Searin. Looks for Lemieux. Lawton on him. And Billy Searin now skating with the puck. Looks right wing. The pass behind Randy Cunnyworth. North Stars counterattack 2 minutes into the third period. They're on the move to the Penguins' end. Zalapski cuts off Brian McClellan. Searin stumbles a bit with the puck. But he throws it ahead on the right wing to Randy Cunnyworth. Cunnyworth still out here. Cunnyworth going to the North Stars line. Cunnyworth looks for Lemieux, who's still on here. Lemieux's been on the first 2:17 of the period. Lead pass behind the defense. Basil McRae to breakaway. Comes in. He shoots it off Peter Angelo, and it deflects off the glass. Remember, Lemieux has been out here now almost 2.5 minutes here to start the third period. He's on with Hunter and Cunneyworth. They came on to replace when the penalty was expiring. Lead pass to Cunneyworth. He is back with Hunter. Cunneyworth's going to slap one right on, and he'll turn, and Hunter's going to stay on and go after the puck. Dave Hunter has it. Dave Hunter looking for Robbie Brown, but he can't find him in the North Stars home anthem. Relays it to Dino Ciccarelli and around his own goal. Dangerous little move, but he got away with it in the pass to Bob Brook. Back on left wing. And McRae tried to haul it in. So the Penguins netminder Peter Angelo stopping McRae on a breakaway chance. We're still tied at 3 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Your Nissan dealer announces the biggest cashback program in Nissan history with $700 cash back on Sentras. That means you can get a Sentra for as low as $57.99. $1,000 cash back on Stanzas. $500 cash back on hard body special trucks. With over $1,000 in added features, that brings your total savings to over $1,600. See your Greater Pittsburgh Nissan dealer today.
Well, the Penguins tried to get fancy just inside the blue line again. Hilliard got caught up ice, and McRae took the puck at center and blew right past Paul Coffey and in on goal on Peter Angelo. Took a backhand shot. Hard to tell whether Peter Angelo got a piece of that or not, but it went up off the glass behind the net.
Abshai going to the Penguin line. Can't get in. Robbie Brown, who has 3 points on the afternoon, has a goal and 2 assists. Stuck it in on all 3 Penguin scores. He is on here with Dave Hunter and Kevin Stevens. And Hunter lost the puck to Wally Schreiber. Back into the Penguins end. He's turned around in the last second, though. Loose puck of the slide. Look out. A shot by Abshai, and he pulled the trigger and missed the goal. Along the near corner. Still in the Penguin zone. Paul Coffey corrals the puck. Lead it ahead to Jim Johnson. He's 3-on-3 to the North Stars line. He'll take off and go in deep. Centered it back for Robbie Brown, but that's too hard. It came off the near boards, and Wally Schreiber spins it back to the big center circle. Coffey looking for Rob Brown. Frantisek Musil, though, stepped in to steal. And the North Stars defenseman goes to his partner, Bob Rouse. Rouse up in the left wing to Brian Bellows. Breaks on Penguin zone. Good pass in the slot. Here's a man over. Messier comes down. He didn't know what to do with it. Robbie Brown trying to cover the puck in the slot. Still loose. Squirts free. Look out. A shot by Ciccarelli just missed. And Zelansky fires it around the boards and got it out of the zone. Tense moment there because Brown really couldn't freeze that puck. He would have been called for a delay of game penalty. Where Giles weaves his way into Penguin ice now. Drop pass to Mantha. Shoot it towards the net. It was deflected. Bodger just hauled down Mitch Messier in front of the net. Troy Loney of Pittsburgh, right wing pass to Lapsky's got the motor going. He'll come to the North Stars line and shoot it to the net. Casey will make the save. Pulled down was Loney as Micheletti put pressure on him to the left of the Minnesota goal. Still a battle for the puck. Along the board, squirts free to Bodger in the slot. Right side. Zalapsky looks it over. Wrist shot. Stopped by Casey off his blocking glove. Now around to the left point. Bodger keeps it in. Loney between the circles in front. A shot. That's stopped by Casey. Now Quinn to the right point. Goes to Zalapsky of Pittsburgh. A shot. Good shot, but a better save by Casey. Quinn throw it behind the goal. Casey comes out. He'll whack it around to the near boards. The North Stars finally clear. Zalapsky of the Penguins settles it down, but he gave it right to Bob Rouse. Rouse turned it right back to Zalapsky. Here's Frawley now. Cruising back into the North Stars in. Turned around. He drops it up to Quinn. Should open up here. Rouse is out of position, but the pass intended for Cunneyworth is deflected by the North Stars' Ciccarelli. Frawley along the near side. And a high stick on the puck will negate the play with 14:46 to go in the third. And we're still tied at 3.
Well, on that scramble around the net in the Penguin zone with Robbie Brown actually got the stick on the stick of Messier to prevent him from taking the shot, and then Brown covering up the puck and having to move the puck, and the North Stars almost got a goal. And then the Penguins put on pressure in the North Stars end, and Zalapsky with 2 good shots. First the slap shot, then the wrist shot, and that's showing that variety that he has in that right point. He can get the shot away in a variety of ways, which really keeps the goaltender guessing all the time, and he really fired that slap shot. Casey coming up with a couple of big saves.
Say he rose to the occasion.
Yeah.
Here's Ciccarelli shooting the puck. That went wide. Off the left wing boards and back to center. Coffey now corrals a Coffey to the North Stars in. A shot went right off the body of John Casey, who made the save on him. Now centered by Bob Arias. The Penguins coming out strong at the moment. Ciccarelli, though, spins it back to the blue line area. Bob Rouse backpedals. Finding Frantisek Musil. You saw a right wing pass to Dino Cicerelli. It'll be called back on a two-line infraction. Two-line pass called. 3-3 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
The people at Mac asked me to illustrate the #1 reason to get the #1 banking card, Mac. But I'm better at cutting than drawing. The #1 reason is convenience, which you don't get when you're standing in line to do your banking. So break away. Get your Mac card and get convenience.
Go Mac and share the experience with people who carry convenience.
Go Mac. Share the experience. Go Mac.
The great March blizzard awaits everybody outside. People enjoying themselves here. It'll be pretty cold.
Understand it's ice cream weather in Pittsburgh, though. Temperature about 70 degrees.
Here in the near side of the Minnesota Inn. Looked around the horn. Robbie Brown of Pittsburgh trying to get it to Kevin Stevens. Stevens, Brown, and Dave Hunter out here. Out in front, it comes to Robbie Brown. Turning and shooting the puck. And a save made by Casey, who held his ground very nicely on Robbie Brown. Rolled away by the North Stars. Back up ice into the Penguins in. Kevin Stevens kicks at it. Looking for Rob Brown. And Robbie Brown 2-on-2. Making a move down that right wing. Playing center ice here in this line. He sparkled this afternoon for the Penguins.
Yeah, he's really enjoying playing his natural position, it appears.
Well, the North Stars guilty of an icing infraction. Let's check the New Jersey schedule, what they have left. They played Philadelphia today and won 6-5. They have Quebec at home next week. Then they'll be away at Washington. They have 3 straight on the road: Washington, St. Louis, and Buffalo on road games. The Rangers at home, Pittsburgh at home, Pittsburgh away. The Islanders at home, the Devils have, and their last game of the year is at Chicago. And what do the Rangers have? They've got Washington tonight at home, or on the road. Right? Wait a minute here.
That's right.
Yeah. Then they've got Philly and Washington at home. They'll be at Toronto, home for Hartford, Buffalo, and Edmonton. And 4-game road trip late in the season, where they'll play Detroit, New Jersey, Chicago, and Winnipeg. Their final game will be at home against Quebec. Here are the Penguins and the North Stars in, putting pressure on again. Troy Loney trying to get it in. He can't. Goes behind the net to Dan Crawley. Centers it out. And it's taken by Dave Gagne. Gagne in Minnesota. Snap it ahead on the right wing to Basil McRae. McRae was denied on a breakaway chance here in this third period by Frank Pietrangelo. Penalty coming up here. It's loose behind the Penguin goal. Let's see who the penalty will be against. It's going to be a penalty called. Jim Johnson and Basil McRae, and now Loney steps into the situation. I want to see who the penalty is going to be on. Basil McRae now pushing Danny Quinn. Let's see. Bob Brook involved with Troy Loney. Now Bob Brook pushing Troy Loney back. We'll take a timeout. They'll sort it out. We'll be back to let you know what the penalties are in a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Deciding where to put me treasure weren't easy.
Burying it wasn't no day at the beach, neither.
We needed Equibank.
I'd have sailed straight for the Straight Talk Bank.
You see, Equibank knows how hard you mates work for your treasure.
So it should be kept safe and sound. And dry.
At Equibank, me buckos.
With their help, Blackbeard might have been a stealer instead of a pirate.
Well, big bad Basil's going off. He cross-checked Jimmy Johnson right across the back, knocked him down, and then he threw the elbow into his face. Might have gotten 2 penalties there, but he just got 1.
Well, it's one that in a 3-3 hockey game you just can't afford to take. Yep. And the Penguins now got to make them pay the price. They've got a game tied at 3. Their 7th power play chance. And they're 1 for 6. Dan Quinn, Mario Lemieux, Robbie Brown on the front line. Bodger and Coffey will play the points, and Paul Coffey handles the puck from the Penguin line. Rink-wide pass to Bodger. Penalty again called at 6:56. North Stars trying to clear it out. They can't do it for the moment. Bodger crunched by Bob Brook, and the loose puck back to center. Here's Gagne. Look out. 3-on-3. 3-on-2 make it. Here's Gagne in front. He couldn't hit Mantha, cut him for the net. Robbie Brown looks for Lemieux. He got him with a great pass. He's 1-on-1 against Giles, but now he slows up. It's 1-on-4, and Mantha strips the puck right off his stick. Cleared away back into the Penguin net area. Lemieux waits at the Minnesota blue line as the Penguins bring it up. Zalapski carries the mail. He's checked from behind on a good solid check. Dan Quinn looks for room. Boy, Mark Hampshire has played one heck of a game here today for the North Star. Paul Coffey with a pass looking for Robbie Brown. Lemieux still lingers at that blue line to Quinn. Left side of Lemieux. Here he comes. Lemieux moves in front to Quinn. He's too well covered. Back on the right side. Zalapski can't get to it. And it hops out of the zone and back to center. There was a play there. I think Mario might have been better off shooting the puck with that great shooting ability that he has and leading the league, but he hasn't fired much today. Here's Robbie Brown to the Minnesota line. To Coffey right down the slot. Comes in. Trying to get the shot off, but he's checked from behind. Puck worked off his stick, and Dan Quinn to Lemieux. With 42 to go on the penalty. Zalapski right side to Dan Quinn. Back to Zarley Zalapski. Shoot it towards the net. Stop. Rebound. Oh, Brown just missed on the rebound shot. Now Lemieux picks it up. To the left point to Paul Coffey in the Minnesota zone. The Penguins on a power play. Tied at 3, trying to take the lead. Quinn behind the net comes out, trying to turn his stuff in, and that's off his stick and gathered in by the North Stars. And Wally Schreiber, with 20 seconds to go, the North Stars should be able to kill it. Long shot to the Penguin net. Lawton handcuffed Peter Angelo. Zalapski with 12 seconds to go. Coffey with a final rush. Going to the Minnesota line. Looking in the slot, but is stolen by Dino Ciccarelli, and that'll do it. And the Penguins are 1 for 7 on the power play. 11:05 to go in the third. Tied at 3. Lead pass, Cunneyworth. He is stopped. And Basil McRae, who just came back on, bounces it towards the Penguin net. Peter Angelo stops it. Jim Johnson looking for Cunneyworth. Cunneyworth on a giveaway to Ciccarelli in front. Got a man there, Bellows. But he can't turn the shooter. Jimmy Johnson whacked him with a blade. They'll belt each other. Now Jimmy Johnson pulls down. Bellows will be a penalty against the Penguin defenseman, Jim Johnson. He got a little over anxious, and here are the North Stars. Their favor coming up now, as it'll be the Penguins shorthanded on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Buying a new car involves more than finding the right car at the right price. The reputation and attitude of the service department is an important consideration. At Calusi Chevrolet, the nation's oldest Chevy dealer, our reputation and know-how, along with the latest in high-tech equipment, ensure accurate diagnosis and adjustments for your car. And at Calusi Chevrolet, all repair work is subject to quality controls such as road testing, physical inspection, and computer analysis. You can count on a friend. Calusi Chevrolet.
Well, Jimmy Johnson and Brian Bellows got into it, whacking each other a little bit. Johnson staying right with Bellows. Bellows kind of threw the elbow at him. Johnson turned around, put the stick into his legs, and hauled him down. And not a good penalty for JJ to take that time. And so now the North Stars with their 7th power play opportunity.
Let's pause for station identification here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
WPGH TV 53, Pittsburgh.
The North Stars are 1 for 6 on the power play against the Penguins this year in the 3 games. They are 2 for 20. And the Penguins will have to try and shut them down again with a lot of time left here in the third period. 10:31 to go.
By the way, Jason Weathers of Pittsburgh is going to pick up a couple of tickets on our Stroh's power play contest. Penguins failing to score for the 6th time today. They're 1 for 7. Well, you said goaltending would be a big part of it here in the third period, and both goaltenders have come up tough, particularly Casey. The Penguins have had the better chances, but North Stars should be getting some right here in this power play.
Penguins have outshot the North Stars 10-2 here in the period. They do not have the go-ahead goal. John Casey has been able to keep it tied. Here are the North Stars cruising back out of the Penguin line. Brian Bellows, 35-goal season to Brian McClellan on the left wing board. Looks for Dino Ciccarelli, played free. Brook now to the right side of Hampshire, shoots it on. The stop is made. The whistle sounds. The puck came free, but Ron Hogarth lost sight of it. And Ronnie, I'll tell you one thing. I like Hogarth because he's very honest. He has a smile about it. He's not going to get that upset. He just said to the guys, hey, I lost sight of it, guys. I'm sorry. And you can appreciate that. You can't be too mad at him because he's just calling it and he's laughing about it. When guys get hardened about it and start yelling back at you, that's when you got a beef. I mean, he just understood the play. He just lost sight of it, and he told him that.
And that's a good thing for the Penguins that he did, even though the puck was shot over the net after that. The Pens have had a little problem. Their goaltender, Steve Gannett, had a problem against the Blues the other night, not being able to control that puck and freeze it. It keeps popping free. And the tendency is when you think the goaltender has it to relax, the other team's still thinking, let's get the goal, and they're usually the ones that are going to get that loose puck if it pops free.
$10,827 on hand this afternoon to view this win at the Met Center. Well, the North Stars own the worst record of the National Hockey League on home ice. They are 9-22-3. Lemieux in a penalty killing role with 1:29 to go in the minor penalty to Jim Johnson. Lemieux and Dave Hunter. And the face-off is controlled by Pittsburgh, and Lemieux coming up ice. The Penguins have had some chances shorthanded too. Lead pass to Hunter off his stick into the North Star zone. But now Minnesota able to take possession, and they will move it up ice. Mo Mantha shoots it off the boards, around behind the Penguin goal. Pietrangelo lets it go for Bodger. And turned around by Pittsburgh back to center. Lemieux is ahead on the play, but they can't get it to him. And it comes all the way back into the Minnesota near corner. Mo Mantha corrals it. 57 seconds to go. Pass to Brian McClellan, trying to get around Lemieux. Skates in with a nice move to Mantha. Left side, look out, he cuts for the net. Mantha moves in, backhand attempt, and he went right through the goal mouth with it. Right point, Bob Brook of Minnesota. Shoot it in behind the Penguin goal to Dino Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli to Brian Bellows, back center point. Mantha's there, his heavy shot. Blocking glove save made by Pietrangelo. On the rebound, though, the Stars keep it in. Back to Mantha again, center point. Shoots it on, save made. Rebound and cleared by Coffey. And out of the zone it goes. You know, tense moment there as the North Stars were buzzing like bees around a hive. 20 seconds to go in the penalty to Jim Johnson, the Penguin defenseman. Minnesota skating with the puck with the Penguins in again. Left wing, Ciccarelli. Double team. Can Frawley whack it out of the zone? He got it off the referee. It's still alive, though. North Stars Bellows in front. Archibald's there. Archibald shot. He scores. Dave Archibald. The puck hit the referee, Ron Hogarth. Now a fight breaks out here after the goal's been scored. But the North Stars have taken the lead on Archibald's goal. Who's battling here?
Archibald is down and holding his face. He got hurt. Somebody must have hit him after he scored the goal. I don't know who it was.
Frawley is involved for the Penguins. Archibald is down. That puck squirted free, came right back in front, and Archibald was all alone, one-on-one against Frank Pietrangelo. Bob Brook and Dan Frawley were the two combatants after Archibald went down. I didn't see what happened. We just saw the goal by Dave Archibald. Jimmy Johnson now and Dino Ciccarelli whack one another. But the North Stars have the lead. The puck actually came off the referee. Bellows put it right in front, and the shot by Archibald right between the legs, it appeared, Paul, of Pietrangelo.
And Paul Coffey had gone down to try to block a shot or make a play out by the boards. He was sliding all the way over by the boards, way out in the top of the zone, and nobody back by the net where Archibald was, and he was able to put it right between the legs of Pietrangelo. Archibald got hit or went into the boards or something afterwards. Yep, Frawley crushed him into the boards after he scored the goal, and he hurt his face.
Well, it's a power play goal with only 5 seconds remaining on the penalty to Jim Johnson. A costly penalty for the Penguins because the North Stars have the lead, and Archibald, visibly shaken, will be helped off the ice. Archibald's had a pretty good year against the Penguins. He got off to a very quick start for the North Stars, but Dave Archibald scoring that goal is 13th of the year. And a power play goal, and Minnesota has the lead for the first time this afternoon, 4-3.
Well, the Penguins had a lot of chances, but they just couldn't beat John Casey, and you had that feeling that when the North Stars would get the opportunity, they might be able to put that puck into the net. And this might be doubly tough for the Penguins because Frawley may pick up a penalty here for what he did to Archibald after the goal was scored. Frawley had to be frustrated. He pushed that puck. He was able to get to a loose puck by poking at it, but it hit Hogarth's skate and came right back out where the North Stars could throw it back to the net.
2 minutes charging on Brook, 2 minutes roughing. It's all put on the board. 5 was up on the board, 4 was up on the board. 5 on 4. Ronnie. Nope. Oh, okay, you're up. Hey, go both short. No, you're not both short. You're a man short for him. A man short for him. What's that fine?
I think Frawley's going to get a 5-minute major penalty, and Brook of Minnesota, a charging minor and a roughing minor. I think it'll be a 5-minute major to Frawley and 2 minor penalties to Bob Brook.
And Hogarth's confused because Johnson's penalty is still up on the board, but he doesn't realize that that penalty is gone now because the North Stars scored a power play goal. So he's asking, who's 6? Who's 6? And he doesn't realize that that's the guy that had the Penguins short-handed.
Here's the announcement on the goal.
For charging and roughing. Time of the penalties, 11:13. Repeating, Frawley of the Penguins, a major for boarding. Brook of the North Stars, minor penalties for charging and roughing, all at 11:13.
They haven't changed the scoreboard yet. Was that not a goal by Archibald? The goal should be, here we go.
Dave Archibald. The first assist to number 23, Brian Bellows. The second assist to number 21, Mo Mantha. A power play goal at 11-13.
So with 8:47 to go, the Penguins trail for the first time in this hockey game, 4-3. Now they should have that penalty time up on the board if it's a 5-minute major and 2 minor penalties, because the North Stars will get a power play out of this.
And they still haven't taken Johnson's penalty off the board.
Well, they might be having problems with the scoreboard here at Minnesota. They're trying to correct it. We'll be back in a moment. 4-3 Stars on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Yes, Mrs. Ferber. I'll be right over.
What's up?
It's Alex. He's been burying things in Mrs. Ferber's garden again.
Right here.
Alex, a bottle of Stroh's.
Keep digging.
Nice, Alex. 15-pack.
Keep digging.
With Stroh's and Stroh Light 15 and 30 packs, you get more beer.
How did he get a whole truck down there?
Why don't we ask the driver?
Well, they're alive and well here at the Met Center as they've got the Fanometer going here. The reason I say they might be having some problems with the scoreboard, they haven't put the Minnesota goal up on the board yet. They still have it as 3-3. But the Stars definitely have the lead, 4-3. We're back to play now. Both clubs will be shorthanded by a man. 4-on-4. Here's our half shot to the Penguins, and he cuts across into the zone. He's turned around by Rod Buskus, and Dan Quinn will take possession of it. Zardy Zalapski will take the pass from him. So for the second game in a row, the Penguins have a 2-goal lead, and watch it go out the window. And now they're behind. They've got to score and try and tie the game. They had a 2-0 lead at St. Louis, and were beaten 6-4. Now they're down 4-3 to Minnesota. Here's Lemieux in the left wing corner. North Star zone. Trying to move towards the net. He's hooked from behind. Play continues. Here's Quinn with it. He shoots it right on, and that save is made by Casey. Back comes Wally Schreiber. Schreiber moving back into the Penguins end. Down the left wing. Trying to beat Buskus. Cut for the net. Oh, and a great play, and Peter Angelo stops him. Schreiber's on a good burst of speed. Here's Lemieux trying to counterattack. He looks up, though. He doesn't have much room. He's 2-on-4. To the Minnesota line, he's going to go back outside now and set it up again. Pittsburgh shorthanded by a man, and ditto that for the North Stars. 4-3 Minnesota. They have the lead. And blasted off the wood and controlled down by Minnesota's Dino Ciccarelli. Up to Musil. Musil. After Gagne, he's hit, but Ciccarelli has to look out. His shot, and he missed the net. Boy, you give him room like that in the slot, and he can beat you. He can fire it. Robbie Brown back for the Penguins on the right wing to Coffey. He tries to get in deep around Musil. Carries it down. Fired up behind the net. Along the near boards with Ciccarelli taking possession of it. He'll lead it up to Mo Mantha. Mantha around Rob Brown. Out of the Penguin line. Stopped by Bodger. 7:12 to go in the third period in regulation time. 4-3 Minnesota leading. Stopped right at the Minnesota line by Kurt Giles. Man open left wing. They get it to Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli getting room. His slap shot glove by Peter Angelo, and he holds it. You can't afford to give Ciccarelli that much room. I'll tell you, he gets shots like that, and it'll be all over. He will fire it in the net. He's just too good a goal scorer, Paul, and he's getting open here in this third period now.
Well, it's kind of fun to watch him out there 4-on-4. It's not a situation you see very often anymore in hockey. Good play by Wally Schreiber earlier to cut in on his off wing around Buskus with the forehand, and Peter Angelo had to flop to make the save. Unfortunately, Dan Quinn was right there to get the rebound. Wally Schreiber may not be the fastest guy in the world, but he seems to have that ability to beat you one-on-one. He made a nice play in on Peter Angelo.
Similar type of player would be Jock Callender, who played briefly with the Penguins this year. Now back in Muskegon.
No, he's, as I said, he won the International Hockey League scoring championship, and of course Callender right up there too, is one of the guys who's been on top of the scoring race in that league for many years.
Face off in the Penguins end, controlled by Pittsburgh, and Randy Cunningworth steps to center. Shoots it long and wide of the net, off the board. Zalapski moved in to get the puck, but it bounced off his stick, and Kurt Giles, the veteran defenseman, started his career with the North Stars and now back with them on the near side. Leave it for Brian Bellows, still at the Minnesota line. The North Stars not quite sure where to go with it. Gord Dineen. Up ahead back to center ice. Jimmy Johnson picked that up. Zalapski right wing pass to Lemieux into the North Stars end. That big shot coming up. The save, a rebound. Cunningworth. He overskated it, and Casey gets back to grab the puck. Right out in front of the net. Well, Lemieux cutting loose with that shot from 45, and Cunningworth moving in. He just simply overskated it. in an opportunity to try and grab the rebound.
Zalapsky spotted Lemieux at the last second and moved it up to him. The pass was a little too far ahead for him. He had to reach out and get it, but he came up that right side and gave it to, or took the shot, and Cunningworth just overskated that rebound. Lemieux can score from that spot. He likes to shoot from the top of the circle. Casey, as we told you earlier in the game, he likes to come out of the net. He likes to come way out on top of that crease. He does it a lot, and he made a save look easy there, but the rebound right there for Cunningworth, he just couldn't get to it.
A minute 37 to go on the second minor penalty to Bob Brook of Minnesota. And then the North Stars will have a power play on the 5-minute major penalty issued to Dan Frawley. That'll be a major penalty, too, and that means the North Stars can score more than one goal on the remaining time left to Frawley's minor, or a major penalty. Mario Lemieux with 1 point today now has 135. He has a 13-point lead over Wayne Gretzky in the scoring race right now. Lemieux with 135, Gretzky with 122. And Lemieux in the far wing can't control. The North Stars have it. They'll come back to center ice. Bodger's all over one of the Stars. Paul Coffey gets possession. Coffey to the Minnesota line. He wheels in, looks for Bob Airy, and City takes it to the left point. Trying to shoot it over for Mario Lemieux and can't make that play. Wally Schreiber. Shoot it long to the Penguin goal. Not much mustard on it. He's going to go to the bench. The Penguins come up. Skating to the North Stars line. Bob Airy goes in deep. Stops in the right wing corner. Pass it up to Bodger center point. He'll whip one on a slap shot that'll miss. Lemieux checked by Gagne. The puck comes around across the goal mouth around to the right point to Doug Bodger. Penguin defenseman sliding in behind the net. And it'll be John Casey, the North Stars goaltender, to Musil. He can't clear it. Comes away off the wood, though, and back to center. Airy with 45 to go in the penalty to Bob Brook, and then the North Stars again will have a power play. We have 5:25 to go here in the third period, and the Minnesota North Stars lead the Penguins 4-3.
Mario Lemieux is tired. He just doesn't have the zip that he normally has, and I think he's spending a lot of time today killing penalties.
Kurt Giles cruising back, going to the Penguins end, shoots it towards the net. Peter Angelo got a glove on it. Forced over near board. Jimmy Johnson can't get it out. Bob Rouse looking for Gagne, cutting down the slot, but the pass behind him. And in 13 seconds, the Penguins will have to kill a minute of penalty time on Frawley's major. It's Quinn. 3-on-3 to the North Stars blue line. Going to Dave Hunter. He'll try and push one to the net. He has a goal this afternoon. Upswing, it comes to Jim Johnson. Shoot it on. The save made. The rebound back in front. Hunter trying to get it out, but Casey flips it up in the air like a 9-iron shot. And ahead come the North Stars in the power play with Bob Brook on. Left side to Cicerelli, down the slot. Look out again. He's hooked from behind, though, and slowed in the play. He loves to shoot from that slot area behind the net. Brian Bellows. Bellows of Minnesota on the power play. 40 seconds to go to Mantha. Left side to Brian Bellows. Moves in. Leaving in the left wing corner for Bob Brook of the North Stars. He turns and shoots it. Does. And Peter Angelo makes that save. Played away to the right point. Giles of the North Stars. And he played it up the glass. Evidently went outside the line, and an offside play called against Minnesota. Now 4 minutes and 13 seconds left in the third period, Paul, and 26 now on the penalty to Dan Frawley.
Well, now the Penguins have to find a goal somehow, and they're snake bit here in the third period.
We haven't seen Dave Archibald back on. Apparently he went to the locker room.
And by the way, Brian Erickson was in the trainer's room with ice on his shoulder. He's got a separated shoulder, Mike, so we don't expect to see him the rest of the year, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, we saw him go down in the second period.
You know, Erickson played at Roseau, Minnesota, pretty far north of Minneapolis, and he played on a line with the Broughton brothers. Aaron and Neil Broughton was one of the great high school lines ever to play in Minnesota. And I told him that this morning. He said, no, they played on my line.
Here's Mantha now flipping the puck into the Penguin zone with 13 seconds to go in the penalty. To the right point, it comes free to Kurt Giles. Push one wide, now behind the net. Score by the North Stars as Mark Hampshire came from behind the goal and beat Peter Angelo. The North Stars get another power play goal, and they now lead 5-3. Well, Mark Hampshire showing something here this afternoon as he cut in behind that net and turned and stuffed it. Peter Angelo got turned around a bit, and Hampshire made the play.
Well, Giles is the one who fired it back to the boards. It was way wide of the net, but it came right off the boards to Hampshire, and Peter Angelo had come out to play that shot by Giles. He was puck chasing on that one.
Jimmy Johnson apparently got a stick on it, but it bounced off his stick in the goal. So Hampshire gets his second goal of the game, another power play goal. And the Penguins now have given up 106 power play goals. And penalties, again, have killed the Penguins here in this hockey game. 5-3 Minnesota. Back in a moment on the Penguins Hockey Network. I think I stand corrected. That's the North Stars' third power play goal, second in this period. So they have scored 3 power play goals on the afternoon, and they were 1 for 14 coming in against the Penguins in the first 2 games, but they have made it work here, especially when they've had to in the third period, and they have the lead. Archibald and Habscheid scoring power play goals. And again, the penalty by Frawley hurt, and remember, it was a major penalty, and he still has time to serve. They've got to correct the scoreboard clock. They've got 6 more seconds to add to it. We're going to wait and play here from center ice. Hawken and Bertley started. And we are back to action. The North Stars have it. Frawley will be coming on here in just a moment. On the left side, Basil McRae. Drop pass. Look out. Brook with a shot. That's stopped. Lemieux taking the rebound. Lemieux is pulled down. Penalty coming up Minnesota. Bob Brook getting the stick into Mario Lemieux with 3:41 to go here in the third. Penguins have a power play. Their turkey will be on the table. Let's see what they can do with it. Stars by 2 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
We want to see your eyes when you see our shrimp.
At Long John Silver's, we want to see you sink your teeth into our big, juicy butterfly shrimp. And right now, you can get these golden beauties in 4 great meals for only $3.99 each. Like our 6-piece shrimp dinner and our shrimp and fish dinner.
You see, we want to make sure we're going to see you back.
Shrimp meals, $3.99 each.
We want to see you happy.
Mario Lemieux coming way back into his own end to get that puck in front of the slot and try to lug it out of there. And Bob Brook got the stick up into him in his arm and held him up high and hauled him down. So Pens with another power play chance. Brook for holding at 16-19. Penguins are 1 for 7.
And they face it off. Dan Quinn, Robbie Brown, and Mario Lemieux on the front line. Bodger and Coffey will play the points. And Bodger circling in his own line, dumps it off to Dan Quinn, cruising back into the North Star zone, cuts across to the near side. They'll give it to Lemieux in front to Robbie Brown. His shot, where is it? It was stopped by Casey, and the rebound. Lemieux was stopped by Casey also. Well, goaltending has been a big part of this third period. We thought it might be, and Casey has not allowed the Penguins to score. Paul Coffey back, taking the puck, leading up the right wing to Doug Bodger. Bodger shoots it off the boards and in behind the Minnesota goal. Gordon Eam will whack it away, and that'll be all the way back into Penguin real estate. With 1:20 to go in the Bob Brook penalty, 2:58 to go in the third period, 5-3 Minnesota. Dan Quinn again on the attack, right side of the Minnesota and Lemieux. Back to Coffey on the right wing corner to Rob Brown. Robbie Brown. A goal and 2 assists this afternoon to Lemieux. Center point, Coffey's open, doesn't shoot it, goes to Lemieux. He'll walk in. He lets it go in the glove save made by Casey. On the rebound. Picked up, not clear. Here's Coffey drilling one. Stopped again in front. Brown has a stick turnaround from Mike Deneen. Coffey goes right side to Lemieux. Center point to Coffey. Back to Lemieux, right wing. And around the net to Quinn. He can't step it in, and Casey's there again. Robbie Brown behind the net to Quinn. Around to the right side of Lemieux with 35 to go in the penalty. Coffey near side to Doug Bodger. Back to Coffey center point. Right point to Mario Lemieux. The Coffey center point lets it go. It hit Quinn's stick and carried him to the right wing corner. Dan Quinn of Pittsburgh in. Giles to work off his play to Lemieux. Lemieux left side to Bodger to Coffey. One time shooting the puck, and it hit Robbie Brown on the way in. Never got to the net. Lemieux behind the goal. 15 to go in the penalty. Lemieux steps out, comes around, put it in front. Coffey trying to knock it in. Brown there too. Casey says no. And now Deneen takes a whack at Robbie Brown as he fights it around that net. Dan Quinn gets a stick up. Robbie Brown doing everything he can, but the Penguins just cannot get the puck by John Casey. Unbelievable.
Lemieux walked out from behind the net and tried to make a short little pass to set up Robbie Brown right on the doorstep. Couldn't get it through, but Coffey came in and knocked it out of the air down to the ice. Robbie Brown couldn't lift the puck. He just couldn't get it up over the stick of Casey, but a fantastic save, really, by John Casey, who was down and in a twisting, turning position, able to get his stick back down onto the ice to make a save on Robbie Brown from right in front. Before that, Lemieux cranking one up from the right point that hit Dan Quinn's stick. He tried to wrap it around Casey, but he was at too sharp an angle, and he threw it right through the goal mouth. A lot of chances for the Penguins on this power play. Robbie Brown with a chance earlier that went off the left skate of Casey, and he was able to poke that one away as Lemieux came to the net looking for the rebound.
Robbie Brown is gone for the afternoon, apparently. He's being ushered off into the Penguin locker room. So he has picked up a minor penalty, at least.
He's played a heck of a game today.
He certainly has.
Just got roughly penalties. Hey, no, just no, he's inside. Coffey was on the rush. He's inside. I've got Brown from Pittsburgh roughing. I've got Deneen from Minnesota.
Well, the Penguins still have 7 seconds to go in the Bob Brook minor penalty. In an effort to try and get a power play goal here to get back within one. They trail 5-3.
Kevin Schmidhammer of Pittsburgh is our contestant on the Stroh's power play contest.
Well, Deneen will get a minor penalty also here. 19-12.
And the North Stars number 28, Gordon Deneen. Minor penalties each for roughing. Time of the penalties, 18-12.
Deneen and Brown each getting roughing penalties.
1 minute and 48 seconds left here in regulation time. Now, will the Penguins pull their goaltender? I think they might right now. They did it the other night in St. Louis. Hey, they've got the face-off in the Minnesota end. They're down by a pair, and they can put a two-man advantage on the North Stars. Remember, this is a Minnesota team that is 9-22-3, but you know, I got to give them some credit, and I got to give the Penguins some poor marks too, because they led in this hockey game by the score of 3-1, and they've watched it evaporate. They had the lead against St. Louis, and they're just losing, you know, in a way that you're just not going to make the playoffs if you play like this. You can't. You can't have the lead on the road when you need to win a game and let it dissipate and go away. And you really don't deserve to be in the playoffs if you can't win games that you can't protect the lead in. So that's where the Pens are at the moment. They're going to take a big rush to get there. But this is going to be a severe loss for them if they lose to Minnesota, because they had the lead against the league's worst team. Here is Quinn. Now with Dave Hunter and Kevin Stevens. Lemieux also on Coffey. Now the shot by Coffey. Save made. Rebound back to him. He shoots and missed the net. Now comes off the boards. The penalty is over to Bob Brook. So it's a one-man advantage, but an open net. Brook comes up. Might have a chance. He doesn't. He turns. Slows it down with a great play to Cicerelli. There's Coffey to beat. Shoots it at Coffey. Stopped it in front with a stick. Now a lead pass back to Lemieux the other way. Coffey playing goaltender. Made a great save there. Back is Cicerelli at the blue line. Going to Brook. He's turned around. The North Stars just slipping ahead back into the Penguin zone. Bodger back with 1:18 to go. Remember, the Penguins have their goaltender pulled. They've got the extra attacker on right now. 5-3 Minnesota. Dave Hunter, a right wing pass to Quinn. Bouncing off into the North Star zone. Mantha whacking around the boards, and it comes out. It'll go all the way back into Pittsburgh ice. The Penguins must hurry now to get back and save as much time as possible, as the icing call issued here against Minnesota with 59 seconds to go. What a play by Coffey to stop the shot by Cicerelli. And what a great play by Brook to set up Dino to give him the chance at the open net.
We've seen Coffey about 3 different times today with great hand-eye coordination, able to knock the puck out of the air. That one was up in the air. That was not along the ice. It was about 2 inches up, and he knocked it down with a stick. He bunted that puck, kept it out of the net.
Dan Quinn still out here to handle the face-off against Dino Cicerelli. Zalapski now will come on. Coffey, Zalapski, with Dan Quinn, Mario Lemieux, Kevin Stevens, and Dave Hunter. 5-3 Minnesota. 59 seconds to go. The Penguins have 39 shots on the North Stars this afternoon.
Tell you, the thing that really had to concern you coming into this game, the fact that the North Stars had lost 7 in a row. You figure they were due to win one eventually.
No question.
And Herb Brooks was upset after that last loss, and he was really ornery before the game, which I'm sure was felt by his team.
Yep, but here again, the Penguins in their battle back now. They've got a 2-goal lead in this hockey game against this club and also against Minnesota. The games you need to win. The North Stars have it. They come back to the Penguins in with an open net. McClellan left side, half side, shoots, and it's deflected by Coffey. Win another big play by Coffey. Half side went for the hat trick. Now back is Lemieux. Rushing to the North Star zone, looking for an extra burst of strength, but the North Stars cleared away from the net. It comes on the near wing. McClellan clears. 33 to go. Coffey returns. Coffey going back in front of his own net area. Lead it up to Zardy Zalapski. 27. Remember, the Penguins had to score 2 to tie. Hunter dropping it up to Stevens. Whack it towards the net. It missed. Kicked by Casey. Quinn gets the puck. Looking back for Lemieux with only 18 to go, and time is running out of the Penguins here. Stevens feed it back in front. Deflects right on goal, and Casey stops that. Musil plays it up into the seats with 10 seconds left. Well, John Casey has just sparkled for the North Stars here in this third period. The Penguins have 21 shots on him, and they have not been able to beat him.
How about Paul Coffey making another save on Habshide?
Stop the hat trick.
Yep. Diving out to knock it away as Habshide cut in on the off wing and had the open net to shoot at. Well, you look at the story of today's game, and also the fact that the Penguins power play was rolling along for so long, and now all of a sudden it's coming to a dry spell again. It was 2 for 7 against the Blues, but they got a late power play goal from Robbie Brown in that game to make that stat look a little bit better, because they didn't come up with the big power play goals in St. Louis when they needed them, and they've done the same thing here today.
Well, they got to win a face-off here and snap it right by John Casey in a hurry. And they can't take too much more than 3 seconds to do it if they want to have any hope at all of getting the center ice face-off and getting back into Minnesota territory. So Quinn called upon here to win a face-off, and almost an impossible task for the Penguins, trailing by 2 with 10 seconds left. They'll try. Bob Brook against Quinn. Play to Coffey. He'll have to shoot it. No, goes to Lemieux and is checked aside. Empty net. Back in the North Stars. Lemieux stands in the Minnesota end. The shot in with 2 seconds to go. The North Stars get an empty net goal. Minnesota makes it 6-3. The empty netter. The pass by Coffey deflected. Gagne will get the goal, his second. 1958.
Well, the Penguins controlled the puck off the draw, but the North Stars kept their head in that play. Coffey moving it over to Lemieux, but Gagne came busting out of his own end and intercepted that pass and also scored the goal. So a great little play by Gagne, who also played a pretty good game here today.
Yeah.
Mario just stopped and watched him go up ice.
Yeah, he did. And I'll tell you, to be honest about it, I think Mario was thinking the same thing. I don't know if they had that set play on there, but Coffey's got to shoot the puck. He has to shoot the puck with 10 seconds to go. He can't make that play to Lemieux. You just don't have enough time to get another goal. Back in the game. All right, it's over. Today, the North Stars have defeated the Penguins. They snap a 7-game losing streak. Minnesota 6 and Pittsburgh 3 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
I'll get it, Alex.
Mel's Market. Here's your order.
What order?
Side of beef.
I didn't order.
Here's your delivery, sir.
What delivery?
Your Stroh's 30 packs.
Stroh's. Alex?
Nah. Stroh's and Stroh Light. Fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste. And with 30 packs, you get more beer.
Pardon? Pierre's Pet Shop. Here's your poodle. Oh.
Alex.
We interrupt this commercial to bring you a special McDonald's broadcast. Right now at McDonald's, for just 99 cents, you can get any breakfast sandwich. I repeat, any of 4 great-tasting breakfast sandwiches for 99 cents. Wait, the latest just in. Now you can also get a Filet-O-Fish sandwich for just 99 cents. Hurry to McDonald's and get any Filet-O-Fish or breakfast sandwich for just 99 cents. This concludes McDonald's special broadcast.
To compensate for its fuel. Fuel should be an extension of the engine, as in octane intensive Exxon 93 Supreme with XCL12. Precision equipment for precision engines. Just turn the key.
My, Wile E. Coyote's using the Donnelly directory again. It's a complete, colorful yellow pages that's better and easier to use. Oh, no. Ah, the Donnelly directory with street maps, white pages, and entertainment guides. It's a better yellow pages. Saved again. The Donnelly directory. It's the yellow pages and much, much more.
All right, the shots in the final period, 21-13 in favor of the Penguins. The Penguins now losing their second game in a row. They are 28-32-9. They still remain with 65 points, and right now they're in last place in the Patrick Division. because the Devils won this afternoon 6-5 over the Flyers. To move into fourth, and tonight the Rangers will be at Washington to take on the Capitals. Quickly, Paul, let's take a look at the 3 stars here this afternoon.
Well, their 3 stars were Robbie Brown, number 3, Dino Cicerelli, the number 2 star, and we got to wonder why that was. Maybe John Casey deserves some mention in there somewhere, and the number 1 star, and I think fittingly, Mark Hapshide with a couple of goals, his first and second of his NHL career.
All right, we'll be on the air with you tomorrow. The Penguins will try and bounce back again against the Winnipeg Jets in a kind of a must situation for the Pens to keep their playoff hopes alive. 2:20 is the game time there. 3:20 in Pittsburgh. That'll be our radio pregame show, and it'll be on radio only tomorrow afternoon. 10,827 viewed this one here at the Met Center. The North Stars snap a 7-game losing streak in the final score. Minnesota 6 and Pittsburgh 3. And for Paul Steigerwald, Mike Lang saying so long, and this is the Penguins Hockey Network.
Penguins Hockey has been sponsored by Eaton Park, where there's always something special cooking. By Stroh's and Stroh Light. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here. By Equibank, the straight talk bank. By Mac, the 24-hour banking machine network. Share the experience with people who carry convenience. By McDonald's. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's. And by Cameron Coca-Cola, serving the tri-state area with refreshing Coca-Cola products since 1889.
And by Colussy Chevrolet, the world's oldest Chevrolet dealer, Bridgeville. By the new Donnelly Directory, a better Yellow Pages, and much, much more. By Isuzu, the preferred cars and trucks of Penguins, and people too. And by Long John Silver's Seafood Shops. Long John Silver's sounds good to me.
The executive producer of Penguins Hockey is Bill Strong. The producer-director is Doug Kennedy. This has been a CAC Sports presentation.
I was in Phoenix.
Right, that was Mr. Kane's war. We didn't